What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Hockey Podcast Network watch-along featuring the Minnesota Wild and the Arizona Coyotes. Isha Jerome here alongside Richie Suave Flores. How's it going, my man?
What's up, Isha? It's going to be fun tonight. We got Soda Pod represented. We got with you. We got Sporty with Corey and Richie. Of course, the Coyotes podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network represented. And this is a rivalry now. I consider this matchup between the Wild and the Coyotes a rivalry because the Minnesota Wild have dominated over the last 2 seasons. However, I was coordinating with my co-host Corey Crenshaw before the show, and she brought up a good point. Darcy Kemper is gone, so he is no longer having to face his old team.
That's true.
It's Karel Vejmelka in net for the Coyotes, and so maybe the fortunes will change tonight, everybody, and the Coyotes will actually beat the Minnesota Wild for the first time since, I believe, 2019. But I feel like I'm going to need a beer to kick this off. I don't know if we can do that on this live stream.
No, go right ahead. My fridge is empty. That's the only reason why I'm not drinking one. But for those viewing who join us as this stream goes along, we're really excited to sit back, relax, crack a cold one with you, and watch this game again. Minnesota Wild and the Arizona Coyotes, a new rivalry. Arizona Coyotes now, I don't know, getting comfortable in this division with the Minnesota Wild. So, I mean, the rivalry might just heat up because of that, Richie. So we'll go over kind of the outline for this watch along. It's a comment-driven stream, so if you're just joining us, as you keep joining us, the comments are what going to drive the bus, and we'll just address them right off the hop here. We got our boy Neil Villapiano saying Wild winning 4-1. So he's already giving us a game prediction. And we want to hear all of your game predictions as well. And I'll get to why here momentarily. Josh Deming just giving us the fireball emojis. So he's fired up for this game all the way on the East Coast. Oh, my boy Dan Bradley. What's up, Dan? Thanks for joining us. Let's get it popping. Oh, it's gonna be popping. It's going to be popping. So Neil actually gave his prediction. So for those just joining us, and again, we'll shout this out throughout the entire watch along and stream, Richie, but you have a chance to win this 20 miles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. Unbelievable hockey apparel there at Gong Show Gear. All you have to do to enter. So if you're watching now, I love this too. Let's go Wild. What's up? Welcome back, Molstar. You know the drill. Comment in the live YouTube chat your prediction, score, and who you think is going to win. If it's correct, at the end of the stream, we will, in the post-game show, let you know who won the hat. If multiple people have guessed the right score, then we will do a draw from said hat in the post-game show for you. So get those predictions in. We'll continue to shout that out throughout the entire stream. Josh getting his in, saying 4-2 Wild. So yeah, I'm just noting that right now. Lastly, before we get into we'll just get into the nitty-gritty here on the pre-game show, talk preview basically a little bit of the Arizona Coyotes and Minnesota Wild, talk about the start of their seasons. I know Arizona Coyotes, we know a little bit more about how their season's probably going to play out overall. The Wild surprising us a little bit with a more dominant start than I think that we all predicted. And we'll get into some of the betting lines tonight too, and what Richie has on tap, of course, courtesy of our good friends at DraftKings. But we also have a poll question. If you scroll up in the YouTube chat, the link is there. I'll continue to post the link here in the chat, and we'll shout it out throughout this entire stream. But I think it's a good one, Richie. And I don't think it's as easy as even the those in Arizona might think it is. The poll question is on my Twitter account at VI Sports Talk, pinned to the top of the page. You can only choose one. Which jersey are you taking home? The Yotes Kachina or the Minnesota North Stars? Votes have just started, not a lot, but it's pretty much dead even at this point.
Here's the thing. Obviously, you know where I'm going with it, which is the Kachina. I've also made my case now that the white Kachina, which is the Coyotes' new road uniform starting this season, is actually better than the home uniform that we're going to see tonight, which is the black Kachina. And I stated my case for that on the Anaheim Ducks show recently, the Quack Report. And the reason why is I've come around to liking white jerseys more and more than black.
Oh, yeah.
Because as you know, Isha, I think the black jerseys are kind of overdone in a lot of sports now. And which is why I kind of have come around to liking white jerseys more and more, which is why I have the Bone Aaron Donald jersey behind me here from my Los Angeles Rams. I dig it because it's just a little bit different. It's like an off-white color, but I think most people around the league, as that I've seen on Twitter, on here in the Hockey Podcast Network Slack, they love themselves some Kachina, and it's tough to top. So if Coyotes fans are tuning into this, and I hope you are, made yourselves be known in the chat. I want to see you. I want to see Coyotes Nation represented. It's a home game tonight for the Coyotes, right across the street from me, actually, at Gila River Arena. And I want to see Coyotes fans show up and explain to me why the Kachina is the best jersey among the two options tonight. And you can add the Kachina to the best around the league, too.
Hey, and we'll dive into that a little bit more. Kachina, the poll question, the North Stars jersey, and, of course, actually your take on preferring white jerseys, because I'm picking up what you're putting down there. But, again, it's a comment-driven stream. We're going to go back to the chat here. Luke B., and thanks for joining, Luke B. Arizona scores first goal. Wild then score 5 unanswered. Wild 5-1 prediction. I took note for the contest entry, so thank you for entering there. Dan Bradley saying, Wild fan, but I'd love to add a Kachina to my collection. Dan, I'm surprised you don't have one yet. Would you go white or would you go the black, the dark there, Dan? I want to know. Luke also commenting, the Kachina is sick. Is it sicker than the old school Minnesota North Stars, though? Vote on our poll question on Twitter. Look me up at VI Sports Talk or check out the link posted above in this chat. Are we ready to get into some of the betting lines? What you're betting on tonight, Richie? You need a few more minutes.
No, we're good. I'm already in. The bets are placed, and I have 10 bets out tonight, ladies and gentlemen, through DraftKings. You can sign up if you haven't already. DraftKings.com. Promo code THPN. And you can get a bunch of free cash. I believe the promotion this week, Isha, is you can put down $5 on a game and you can give you $200 in free bets. And just go check it out, DraftKings.com Sportsbook. But yeah, the bets are in.
On a game, and if anybody scores a goal, so I mean, odds are in your favor there to get those $200 in free bets.
Exactly. So I put down 10 bets on this game tonight. I'm going all in on this. So I had $28 left in my DraftKings Sportsbook account. Sports betting now legal in the state of Arizona, so I'm able to do this, and it's been awesome. I've been making a lot of cake lately. Been making a lot of cake betting the Arizona Coyotes on the fading them on the puck line. But let me see if I can bring up my betting slip here, because there's a bunch to go around. So let's see. I'm gonna bring it up here. Go keep talking, Isha, while I try to find this real quick, so we can.
We'll go back to the comments here. Luke B saying it's a hard decision between the North Stars and the Kachina, and that's how you know it's a good poll question. You know, when it comes down to the wire 50-50, or when it's hard for someone to choose. So I just take that as a compliment, Luke. Thank you very much. Dan Bradley saying Phil Kessel, white Kachina before he gets traded at the deadline, or even sooner, Dan. But yeah, Phil Kessel, I know Minnesota guy there, so going with the Phil Kessel white Kachina. I love white jerseys more. I think it's better to represent your quote unquote home colors on the road rather than at home. Everyone knows you're at home. The home colors are everywhere in the rink. Go with white, the neutral, the beautiful at home, and represent your colors on the road. That's my preference. I loved in the 90s when it was just the white jerseys, like I said, at home. All right, we got your...
Pull it up, Isha. There we go.
There we go. Courtesy of our good friends at DraftKings. They support us, so go support them just like Richie does.
So again, $28 to play with. I placed 10 different bets on this game. So I'm going to be very anxious here going on. I emptied out my DraftKings account, and we can take a look here what we got going on. My favorite bet, and I think maybe my best bet for the night, and this is something that I was watching the Ice Guys earlier today, also on the Hockey Podcast Network, the Hockey Betting Show. They do a great job all season long making people, making people money. And one of the things they were kind of talking about is how good the Minnesota Wild are at scoring goals this year. Not only that, they're really good at scoring goals against the Coyotes. So I think my best bet tonight is I bet the Minnesota Wild team total over 3.5. And you can get that at plus money right now, which is plus 110 on DraftKings. And I like that a lot. The Coyotes, we know their goal differential this year is is the worst in the NHL. They're getting beat by over 2 goals per game, which is why I've been riding them so heavily, fading them on the puck line. So I not only bet the over in terms of Minnesota Wild total goals, 3.5, I also did indeed take the Minnesota Wild in this game on the puck line minus 1.5, which if you're new to betting means that I am betting that the Minnesota Wild win this game by more than 2 goals tonight. So those are my 2 best bets this evening because they're plus money. And I also popped some money on a couple anytime goal scorers. You should give me your thoughts on this because I put a couple on some Minnesota Wild players here, different odds. Jordan Greenway, I put a little kick on him. I believe he's back tonight, if I'm not mistaken. If I saw that correctly,
he's back, but his minutes were given to Brandon Duhaime, who's in God mode right now for the Minnesota Wild.
So I put $1 on Jordan Greenway. I put $1 on Ryan Hartman, who I understand is buzzing. He's buzzing this year.
I have his the Minnesota Wild points up right now. Ryan Hartman, in 11 games, 6 goals and for 7 points, and he's carrying this team on his back. He's by far their MVP thus far.
So again, you can get all these goal scoring props on DraftKings. They're all plus money too, which is nice. So if any one of these guys score, I easily make money. I also put Matt Zuccarello as an anytime goal scorer.
The Lizard Man.
Plus 235. And then as far as the Coyotes are concerned, I put a little bit of cake on Clayton Keller, who's due for a goal, and Lawson Krause coming off a 2-goal game too. And one more bet I did place, which is a special tonight on DraftKings. Through the NHL on TNT, which is that if there is a goal scored in the first 10 minutes, they are offering boosted odds to even money at plus 100. So I also bet that. Yes.
Look at that. So for those early viewers, and I know things heat up as the game starts here, Richie, on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. And again, we'll get back to the chat here because some of our regulars are back. They're back to get in our their goal predictions. But whenever we jump on with Richie here, whenever Richie jumps on to do some Yotes live streams, you'll get his best bet and you'll get his betting card. Because I think you bet smart. I mean, I'm personally staying away from Jordan Greenway. I got zero trust there, even if the odds are nice. But I think Hartman and Zuccarello are solid picks there, and they're in for one because Kaprizov, though he's up there in points, it's kind of a wild card if he's going to score. Fiala, I mean, I don't want to say he's playing poorly, but he's not putting up the points right now too. So it's the players like the Duhaimes, the Hartmans, the Zuccarellos right now who are really, I don't know, you can bank on and you can bet on like we see here. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, sir. Again, courtesy of our friends at DraftKings. They support us, so go support them. Use promo code THPN upon sign up for a bonus. And if you're a regular user, plug that promo code in for weekly deals. Back to Luke B. I mean, he's picking up what you're putting down, saying that Kaprizov himself is going to have 2 goals tonight. Boisfus is back. Yo, what's up, Boisfus? Thank you for joining us. Yotes 4-3, and yes, go back to white sweaters at home. So I'm not just going to lock in your contest entry here. Boyce was also saying, Yote's schedule has been tough. Look at who they've played. So, Richie, I'll let you take the reins on that one because you know better than I do.
I mean, they had a tough schedule early on in the season. They were playing a lot of games on the road there. They took on a lot of tough teams. They had a road trip stretch where they played Tampa. They played against Tampa on the road. They played against Florida on the road, and they played against Philadelphia on the road, like back to back to back. Lost all those games. Actually, were pretty competitive in those games, all things considered. Especially in the Tampa game, they were in that game in the third period and then lost. But I wouldn't disagree. But if we're looking at, that's not to blame for why the Coyotes are bad this year. Like, I mean, it's I don't know about that. That's not what I'm blaming the Coyotes' terrible start to the season on. Granted, maybe yes, they played Anaheim recently too, and they lost to the Ducks. So go figure. Thank you, Seattle Kraken, though, for the first win of the season. I will say that.
The Canucks lost to the Ducks the other night too. So I mean, the Ducks they're actually playing. I don't want to say good hockey, but John Gibson is just on another level. Going back to the comments and keep the comments coming, ladies and gentlemen. Those who are in and out and joining us in the pregame show here. It's a comment-driven stream. You all are driving the bus tonight. We're all just chilling, sitting back, cracking a cold one, watching this game together. Dan Bradley saying tonight feels like a good night for Rem Pitlick to get his first goal. That's right. He didn't get his first goal, Dan, but he got an assist. If I'm not mistaken. And coming out of the box, I know he took a penalty in that game. He almost had an opportunity and hit the post and was rewarded for a nice assist in that game. So, yeah, it would be nice to see Rem Pitlick.
He's plus 350. Plus 350 to be an anytime goal scorer.
There you go.
On DraftKings.
I'm Huckleberry. Welcome back. And what a name again. Let's go wild. Hey, I'm Huckleberry. You know the drill. And you don't have to get them in right away, because you have until 5 minutes into the third period. You get your predictions in the live YouTube chat. You have a chance to win this 20 Smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel, too. We really appreciate it as we continue on this pre-game show. Where's the scoring for the Arizona Coyotes primarily coming from this season, Richie? And is there anyone in particular who, I mean, unlike the Clayton Kellers, for example, like where's the scoring coming from, and who would you like to see step up a little bit more?
Yeah, that's it's one of the things about this game that I think is going to be interesting is trying to figure out where that scoring comes from for the Coyotes. Again, I did bet the over in this game at 5.5. I have if you're asking for score predictions, and again, you mentioned the giveaway there, Isha. I have the final score in this game being Minnesota 4, Arizona 2, but it's been weird, man. Like you look at that Coyotes forward group. It's nobody. It's just wiped out of guys who can score. They had Lawson Krause getting 2 goals against Seattle the other night, which is huge for him. But the leading point scorer for the Coyotes this year is an old name that people may know. Shane Gostisbehere is the leading point scorer for the Coyotes this year. He only has 1 goal and 8 assists, but he's been a nice little surprise for this team this year. Yeah. So it's been one of those things for the Coyotes where they're kind of scoring by committee. It's not been one guy. It's just been a bunch of different guys this year. Lawson Krause, Clayton Keller, Phil Kessel has a couple of goals this year too. So I'm concerned about it, but I still think they'll be able to at least get on the board because they kind of got off the schneid a little bit against the Kraken when they scored 5 goals. And if we know anything about hockey sometimes, when you're in a losing streak like the Coyotes, when you finally get a win and you finally get some scoring and you finally get some confidence, maybe that carries over a little bit into your next game. Back at home again here at Gila River Arena. So yeah, I still think the Coyotes score a couple of goals tonight, and they're probably not going to be very pretty either, is my guess.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Again, for someone who hasn't watched this team too closely this year, outside of just what I get in the media, radio, NHL Network, and whatnot, I just wanted your take on that. From the Minnesota Wild, I mean, their leading point scorer right now is actually just surprised me, and I've watched every single game. It's Matt Dumba, who's tied with Kirill Kaprizov, which is funny. 7 assists, 2 goals apiece in 11 games. And then again, like the Marcus Folignos, the Matt Zuccarello, the Ryan Hartmans, Joel Eriksson-Ek, they're all above, the Kevin Fiala. So it is interesting. And again, out of the gate, I don't put too much weight into, who's scoring even, a lot and who's gone on a crazy streak before American Thanksgiving. I would say after that is when things tighten up and you can kind of read a little bit more what your team is for the rest of the season. Quickly going to the comments here. I'm Huckleberry saying hello. What's up again? I'm Huckleberry. I'm very confident in the Wild. Well, I mean the Wild are doing good this year. I mean 8-3 out of the gate. They're actually scoring, mind you, depth scoring, but they're scoring. And yeah, they've had an easy schedule out of the gate, kind of just going through California. But they're still winning, and Cam Talbot's looking damn good. Oh, look at that. Sporty with Corey and Richie.
Wait, who's that? If I'm here, who the hell is commenting as the show? What's going on here?
Corey, if the Coyotes score, will Richie shotgun a beer? Ooh, I like that.
That did not go well last time, so I don't know if we're going to do that again.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks to everyone joining. I know not too many right off the hop, but as puck drop as we're about to get to puck drop here, we usually get some more. Join us. And again, it's a comment driven stream. So let's light up this chat. Comment on this game. We'll comment on this game as we sit back and watch it with you. Just full disclosure here, Richie. I'm like 15 seconds behind the cable broadcast. So
so am I.
Okay, so we're good. We're on the same page. So
yeah, I'm like a minute behind.
Okay, well then there you go. So you're gonna hear from me first then.
Yes.
But from those who are in the chat though, if anything happens in real time, please just write it in. If it's a goal, we don't care. We want to celebrate with you. And again, we're sitting here riding shotgun with you who are driving the bus tonight. Yeah, okay. So I kind of touched on the poll question and my thoughts on just white jerseys being away or home, but I didn't really touch on who I voted for in this one. And this one was hard for me. And I feel like, again, a good poll question is one where you have to really think about who you're going to choose. Though it's not the North Stars jersey, I am wearing the Wild's reverse retro, which is, an ode to the North Stars here on this live stream. And when it comes down to it, and it's just purely because, and then this is the factor. I think I go with the North Stars just because green is my color. I really like the color green. And that's the deciding factor. Because other than that, they're on the same level for me. I think they're both, that will go down in history as two of the best hockey jerseys that have ever been made and that have ever been worn by a professional team.
I agree. The Minnesota North Stars is such a classic, and I'm kind of annoyed that they didn't try and bring that back in a better fashion for some of their outdoor games or the reverse retro for the Wild or Stars for that matter, because it's so clean. Like, that's the thing. Like, when it comes to the NHL, like, there's some really good classic sweaters out there, which I don't think you get in a lot of other sports, right? Because when I think of in terms of like classic jerseys and stuff like that, I go back to some of the wacky ass Major League Baseball jerseys of the 70s and 80s that we got, and some weird colors from the White Sox, for goodness sake, wore shorts one time with their jerseys. Okay, we go back to the classic Astros and the rainbow jerseys that they wore for a long time during the 80s, and Nolan Ryan and those guys, right? And a lot of people don't like those jerseys. I do. But when it comes to the NHL, they do classic sweaters right. And the North Stars are one of them, right? You can't go wrong with the Oilers jerseys during the 80s, which they still kind of have around a little bit today. Same thing with the Islanders, like the Red Wings, just so many classic jerseys done right in the NHL. And the North Stars are one of them. And I'm glad the Coyotes figured out that the Kachinas are one of them too, and they're bringing them back. I just hope we see the reverse retro Coyotes jerseys back sometime soon too.
Yeah. We got a comment from Dan saying, question for Richie. What's the reason behind Jacob Chikrin's drop off this season? To me, he's looked like a completely different player.
That's a great question, and it's something that I think is going to be a continuing conversation with Corey and I on our show. And I wonder how much of it is that he lost his defensive partner. He had a guy in Alex Goligoski for years who was his main defensive partner over the last couple of years, and was the guy that he was playing with for a lot of that time, and who was there as kind of his, not coach in a way, but like, that's a good guy to have around, Alex Goligoski, to have in your locker room, to show a younger defenseman what he needs to do to succeed in this league. And for Jacob Chikrin, I wonder how much is the change in a coaching staff. I wonder how much of that it is. I wonder how much of it is the roster in general is just not as good. So you're going to have when your forward group isn't as good, you're not going to have the puck as much. And Jacob Chikrin is not going to be able to succeed because of that, because he's defending so much as opposed to, doing what he does best, which is showing off his shot. And I don't know if he's, I think he's shooting just as much as he was before, but it's been the most disappointing thing for the Coyotes this year is to see him only have 1 point. And it's wild that it's taken him so long to get going. And And he was one of those guys that, some of us were talking about last year for being in contention for the Norris Trophy. So to see him drop off like he has, it's weird. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly why. I don't think as far as he's not hurt, And so to me, that's the biggest reason is you're looking at a team that's just so much different. The blue line's so much different. His D partner is so much different that I think it's just taking him time to figure out this new team he's got around him, and a team that's just bad. And so when a team's this bad, you're going to see your stats drop off pretty miserably. Like, I know his plus minus isn't good. Who cares? I don't give two craps about plus minus. I don't know if anybody else does, but it tells me nothing other than the team around him is really bad. So yeah, commenter's right. He's got to figure it out eventually, right? Because this is a guy who we're talking about as being the next captain of the Arizona Coyotes, is Jacob Chychrun. So again, slow start for the team, slow start for him. I don't think any of us really know what's going on there.
Molstar42 asking, what do you think of Kakkonen getting the start tonight? I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. I just brought up the lineup right now just to see how Minnesota's lineup was going to be here on Daily Faceoff, and I noticed, Kakkonen getting the start again. I don't think his last win was that great. I don't want to say that there was a little bit of rust there. Look, Talbot's been playing unreal. Talbot's been getting most of the starts. I thought Talbot was going to get the start tonight. I don't want to say that it's in any way disrespecting the Arizona Coyotes, but maybe this is a good game for Kakkonen, to get his reps. A team like the Arizona Coyotes versus more of an elite team in this division. So that's my reasoning for it. I was surprised, though, Molstar. Corey commenting on Biz and talk on TNT. Hell yeah. Now, I haven't been able to watch much of them up here in Canada. What have you thought of the broadcast thus far this year, Richie, on TNT?
Yeah, I think it's great. There's clips going around all the time of Biz and Talk being hilarious and ridiculous on television. And it's a great combination. And having been around Rick Tocchet a lot when he was the coach of the Coyotes, obviously covering the team on a consistent basis, I was very excited to see him on TV because he was so good in terms of talking to us in the media and being really open, really honest, and being really good about breaking down what we were seeing on the ice, and we're getting that too, and we're seeing more of his personality too, which is great. Like, we all saw the clip of Biz from a couple weeks ago on TNT where he was I don't remember the exact phrasing used, but it was a little NSFW for television, I'll just say that. And that's the kind of stuff that we need from the NHL. Charles Barkley was taking shots on goal on Wayne Gretzky during one of the games a couple weeks ago. Like, they've been so good together. And I was just, scrolling through Twitter, and apparently they just did a segment where Rick Tocchet and Paul Bissonnette were interviewing Jacob Chychrun, who was mic'd up during pregame warmups, which I've never seen before in terms of an NHL broadcast. So I didn't get to hear the interview, but I'm assuming that was really cool too. And I'm glad the TNT is in the NHL business, because they've been really entertaining, which is what the NHL needs.
Keep the comments coming, everybody. We absolutely love it. Dan Bradley, we'll answer this one before we take a quick break, because puck drop is upon us. We'll take a quick break, a word from our sponsor, then we will we'll sit back and watch this game with you. We'll comment on the game as we see, and again, it's a comment-driven stream. You all are driving the bus, so let us know what you want us to talk about or your thoughts on the game. Quickly before we go to break, there, Dan saying plus minus is only useful if it's extremely good or extremely bad. Trivia question: which active NHLer has the worst career plus minus? I'll post the comments after you both make your guesses. Okay, well, we'll think about that in the break here. And on the other side, we'll sit back again, watch this game live with you. Arizona Coyotes, Minnesota Wild here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Really appreciate you all joining us, and we'll see you on the other side. And we are back, sitting back, watching this game with you here live on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Isha Droming here alongside Richie Suave Flores. And I have to say, we're about just about 2 minutes into this game already, and I saw Jay Beagle, the face-off master himself, taking one there for the Arizona Coyotes. Now, I know that was a crazy trade with the Vancouver Canucks this summer, and sure, we all know it was a dump of cap, it was a dump of players, but come on now. I mean, is Jay Beagle not stealing your heart like he stole mine?
You know, I don't know if he really has in terms of Coyotes fans, right? Because I think a lot of Coyotes fans...
Come on.
Yeah, because I don't think Coyotes fans are attached to this team as much as they have in the past. Because there's so many guys that are going to be gone next year. So, like, outside of your Chykrins and your Vejmelka, who is your starting goaltender tonight for the Coyotes, in his rookie season, by the way, his first season playing in North America, for those that don't know. There's just not a lot of players. Your Lawson Krauses, maybe, your Christian Fishers, some of those likable guys, but outside of that, there's just not, and a team that you know is going to be gone next year, you're just not able to wrap your hands around them and, like, hug them. And so, I don't, like, he's fine, I guess, but, like, whatever.
I just talk him up a lot. I mean, I'm a Washington Capitals guy too. He obviously won a Stanley Cup there. He came to Vancouver and via free agency. You know, Jim Benning paid him too much money, but he didn't play as well in Vancouver as he did in Washington. But I always was in his corner. I always talked up Jay Beagle, so it was a little tongue-in-cheek question here. Few minutes into this game, already Kakkonen, you know, had a bad rebound there. He thought he had the puck, and it was trickling away. Luckily, he got the whistle there. I mean, rebounds has been an issue for Cam Talbot, at least in the first 5 to 6 games. I think he's tightened everything up now. But again, Kakkonen getting this start tonight, in my opinion, to kind of further shake off the dust, you know, get the rust off a little bit and get back into game season form.
That makes me so sad. That makes me so sad. Watching the TNT broadcast, they just showed Alex Goligoski in a Minnesota Wild uniform. It's just weird to me.
Alex Goligoski, i.e. Ryan Suter's replacement.
If you want to call him that, sure. I don't know how well he's played this year for Minnesota.
He's been great, actually. There's been no issues with Goligoski. If anything, I've thought he was a rock out there. I just want to quickly bring this comment back up. Who do we think, Richie? Who do you think is the worst plus minus in the NHL?
Oh my gosh. It's got to be somebody on a really bad team for a really long time. I'm just going to take a guess because he was so bad with the Coyotes in terms of plus minus. I'm just going to say Keith Yandel. Played a lot of games.
That's
was
so
on
funny.
Really bad plus minus with the Coyotes. Sorry, Corey, if you're still watching. But that's my best guess. Probably wrong, but...
I thought it was Keith Ballard, so we went with two Keiths, which is hilarious. we were both wrong, and which is crazy seeing how much money this guy makes, how many points he puts up, but I'm not surprised in the end. It's Rasmus Ristolainen is a career minus 163, worst among active players. I'm not surprised given the team he's playing with. Like Richie said, he was gonna have to be on a team that's been bad for a very long time, and that's the Buffalo Sabres. And this guy's like a riverboat gambler anyways. He plays a very, offensive, risky game. Wow, 163 though. I did not even think it was that close. So minus 163.
I know, isn't that wild? That's crazy. I don't know how many games Rasmus Ristolainen has played, but that's kind of tough to do.
Yeah, and we have our first penalty of the game. It's on the Arizona Coyotes. Not a lot of shots in the opening frame. 3 for the Coyotes, 2 for the Minnesota Wild. Oh, it looks like a trip there, accidental, as Coyotes player was being checked behind the net there, and his stick was just out while the Minnesota player tried to skate behind the net and tripped over it. So by the book, a trip, nothing dirty there. But hey, from a Minnesota Wild perspective, we'll take it. We'll take it as the Wild's power play.
I'm shocked that the Coyotes power play is that bad. Can you see I'm kidding? Or penalty kill is that bad? Dead last in the league, for goodness sake.
Yeah, I think the Canucks isn't. I did a Canucks watch along I guess was yesterday, and theirs isn't much better. The Wild's power play, I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I don't think it has been holding them back at all this season. As the depth for this Wild team has been helping out so much that if the power play does have an off night, usually 5-on-5, they're able to get another one. And look at that right off the bat, Joel Eriksson, Jared Spurgeon. Look at that amazing goal. The light has to be lamp. The lamp is lit for the first time this evening as Eriksson opens the scoring for the Minnesota Wild on their third shot on the power play. Some good puck movement right out of the gate. And just when I said that, even if the power play doesn't do well, they're going to get some depth scoring. Whether you're in the Wild market.
Look at Jay Beagle just not being able to get back. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Hey, well, at least I won a bet, ladies and gentlemen. Goal in the first 10 minutes. Cashed. Booyah.
Courtesy of our friends at DraftKings. So there you go.
Yes,
Wild
indeed.
Fans. They must be pumped. Here we go. Like you said, Molstar goal. Dan Bradley saying Eriksson on the power play. Yeah. Ekin rights. And Dan Bradley said also next closest to Ristolainen is Jeff Skinner at 131. Holy smokes. Two offensive guys who have terrible plus minus. So the Minnesota Wild open things up again. It's a 1-0 game early. And Kaapo Kähkönen, he's kind of thinking, okay, the boys are gonna score some goals for me tonight. Not that I have to take a night off, but it's not going to be an as challenging night as if he would have had to get reps against one of the top teams in this division. Which, by the way, how are you liking this division as an Arizona Coyotes fan? You liking this being in this division?
It's great. The view from the bottom is just terrific. I tell you what, it's just a beautiful sight.
Lil Perk 30 says, "Let's go, boys! Let's go, Lil Perk! Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to the channel, like the video." For those who've just joined us, if there's any new viewers, again, we have a contest tonight. All you have to do is give your game prediction in the live YouTube chat. Tell us who you think is going to win and what the score is. Entries close 5 minutes into the third period. You have a chance to win this 20 smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. So hit us up. I can't believe, Jeff Skinner and Ristolainen, the league's worst plus minus right now.
Doesn't surprise me. Again, 2 Buffalo Sabres, right?
Yeah. Well, and the Carolina Hurricanes weren't great when Skinner was there, respectively, too. They kind of went on a run after that. So, 13 minutes into this opening period, the Minnesota Wild looking good. They're moving the puck well. I almost thought the Arizona Coyotes got another tripping call there, but I don't know. I wouldn't have called it a tripping call, so I'm glad it wasn't called there. Just with the Arizona Coyotes just coming off of the penalty kill too, but they're gonna have to play a little bit more discipline here, though frustrated. Getting scored on early in this frame.
Yeah, I feel this is like what the Coyotes do, though. They're used to playing from behind all season long, and they showed against the Seattle Kraken, though, and I will give them credit for this. That was a game where there were 3 goals scored in the first minute of the hockey game, if I'm not mistaken, and they were down early. They were down 2 goals early in that game, and they managed to come back in the third period and win that game for the first time all season. So I will give the Coyotes credit for that under Andre Torini. Okay. And I mentioned this on the Ducks Quack Report too, which is they're a team that battles. They're and I mentioned it before the game even started that in some of those road games against some of these really good teams, they battled and they were in games. And the biggest one was the Carolina Hurricanes game on the road there, where that game was 1-1 for the longest time, and the Hurricanes ended up winning in the third period. And Karel Vejmelka was a big part of that, obviously, but they're playing competitive. And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people around the league as they watch this team is, hey, the Coyotes come out and they're competitive. They're not just going to lay down for 60 minutes. And I appreciate that from Andre Torini, kind of instilling that in this team.
Yeah, the one thing that I will say from the Wild, though, is they're a hard team to play against because they don't have all the elite skill, right? They play a 4-line team game. So it's going to be interesting if if the Coyotes want to get dirty, if they want to battle in the neutral zone, I mean, the Wild will meet them there, and it will make for a great game. Corey commenting, you mean the division the Coyotes were forced into after 2 expansion teams took their place? Now, I was hoping to light that fire, and I strategically, asked that there because, yes, I don't think that was fair for the
Thank you,
Arizona Coyotes.
Thank you.
But hey, it will make for a great rivalry with the Wild. All right. I'm Huckleberry supporting the Wild. Says 5-1 Wild. Lock it in. If you're just joining us right now, you can lock in your game predictions as well. Tell us who you think is going to win and what the score is for chance to win this hat from our friends at Gong Show Gear. 20 miles, 20 smiles. Entries close 5 minutes into the third period. If you nail it, you have a chance to win this hat. Corey saying 2 goals in the first 59 seconds.
Yes, thank you. I messed that up. She's talking about the Seattle Kraken Coyotes game from Saturday. That's what she's talking about. Not in this game.
Not your bet from this game too, because you already cashed in on that one.
Cash that, baby. Promo code THPN on DraftKings Sportsbook. Do it, and you can win some money like I just did.
And for those in Minnesota who can't use Sportsbook, check out Daily Fantasy. You can build your roster each day and get points. You can place your bets there on your roster. I do it with UFC all the time. Oh, Andrew B. Andrew, you asked us if we would be back. Well, I'm back. Dylan's not here. I'm in his chair, but I am here with Richie. Andrew B. has joined the chat, ladies and gentlemen. And he's got his prediction in already. He wants this hat 4-3 Wild win. Andrew, I'm locking it in.
Yeah, a lot of people in the comments here expecting a lot of goals in this game, right? I talked about earlier the over-under being 5.5. I bet the over in this game, and a lot of the comments seem to be going in that direction. So that's pretty cool. I like that.
A lot of the predictions for, I mean, the last few watch-alongs that I've done, a lot of the predictions for this hat, for this contest, they have been high. But sometimes it's been a good thing, because I know there was one recently where the game was pretty close to being a 3-2 game, and I think it was like, I forget who was playing, but then there were two empty netters right at the end. And that just screwed everybody up, because like 4 or 5 people like nailed it, but then the 2 empty netters just completely messed it up. So hey, predict high, assume some empty netters. That's smart. And again, we appreciate everybody tuning in. It's a comment-driven live stream, so give us your comments on the game as they happen. Any topics you want us to dive into, NHL wide, Yotes wide, Wild related, we want to hear them, we want to talk about them, and we really appreciate you joining us here tonight on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like. And we have the second goal of the, oh my God, look at that. 2-0 for the Minnesota Wild. Let's go. As Molstar says, we have a goal. Oh, and from the point, what a snipe, finding the lane from John Merrill, of all people, who I've actually personally thought has been playing damn good hockey thus far for the Minnesota Wild. What a shot, finding the lane on the blue line. The Wild now lead narrowly 5-4 in shots, but are capitalizing on their opportunities early in this game.
Not shocked at the start whatsoever here. This is what happens when you play the Coyotes. You tend to dominate. So 2-0 is not a shock to me. Again, that's why I bet the Minnesota Wild in this game -1.5. That was a great deflection too. And so I'm not sure.
Deflection on Fiala, and we just got a comment. Yeah, the comments coming in hot actually. Molstar 42, and keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. Merrill or tip? I thought it was just a clean shot by Merrill, but it actually looks like what tip from Fiala there. We'll find out soon enough. We want Wedgie.
Let me explain.
Okay.
What this means is that you pull somebody's underwear up. I'm just kidding.
I know that.
I cracked myself up. No, I'm kidding. She's talking about Scott Wedgwood, who is the Coyotes' new backup goaltender, who came into the game against Seattle and shut them down for the most part. And in a similar situation, too, after the Coyotes went down 2-0 in that game, and he played really well in relief. And yeah, I don't blame him at all for wanting Scott Wedgwood, who was just picked up on waivers. But again, I don't think Vejmelka was at fault for that one. He was screened. That was a good deflection. And Dan brings up a good point. Yeah. Didn't have his stick either, but I mean, the refs kept the play going there, which is fine by me. So good goal by Minnesota there.
Yeah, I'm Huckleberry saying, oh, wow. And Sean Cosgrove, what up, Sean? Thanks for joining us tonight. 6-2 Wild, locking that in. Sean knows what we're doing here with the giveaway. And for those who've just joined us as well, get in your predictions. Tell us who you think is going to win this game and what the score is going to be for a chance to win this 20 Smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. 5 minutes into the third period, we'll cut the entries, and then in the post-game show, we will see if we have a winner. So thank you, Sean, for entering the chat, joining us here on the live stream, and getting your predictions in. Lil Perk 30 says, got 3,500 on the Wild tonight. Shout out Spurgeon. Good Canadian boy. My favorite defenseman on that team. On the Minnesota Wild. He's an absolute beauty. Andrew B, I know what that means. There you go. Thanks to everybody joining us here. Some of our regulars. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. We have watch-alongs pretty much every single day on this channel. We love interacting with all of you. It is a comment-driven stream. You all are driving the bus. And yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know your comments on this game. The Wild lead the Arizona Coyotes just over halfway through this first period, 2-0. They got one goal on the power play, and one just moments ago, a very sick shot from the blue line by John Merrill, and an even nicer deflection by who I believe is Kevin Fiala. The Wild narrowly lead in shots 6-4 with just over 8 minutes left in this period. Alex saying, hello, everyone. Alex, what is up? Welcome to the stream. Keep these comments rolling. We want to hear your thoughts on this game, and we really appreciate you all joining us tonight. Josh saying, oh, the Coyotes. Do you think Arizona has a chance to break the record for the worst season ever? Well, Josh, what is the record? Is it the Washington Capitals?
The Capitals, yeah.
Okay. And what was it, 8 wins or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yes. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think this Coyotes team has. I think the worst team we've seen in recent memory was that Colorado team from a couple years ago, and I believe they had somewhere around. I think they have like 48 or 49 points or something like that. It was really bad.
It was more than 8 wins though.
Yeah, and their plus minus was well over minus 100, and I have a feeling that's kind of what we're gonna get from the Coyotes here. Is we're gonna get a season that's not god awful like the Capitals there, but somewhere in and around the low 60 points is what I'm seeing, which is crazy because there were some projections out there from some of the analytics people that had the Coyotes getting as high as into the mid 80s in terms of points. Well, so basically being around 500.
That's why you don't just listen to the analytics, folks. You got to put both the lenses on.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you seeing? The over-under for the Coyotes this year, I believe, was like 64.5 points. I did not take that number, but if I were to have bet, I would have bet the under on that. So at the moment, I feel like they're well on pace to being one of the worst teams in the entire of all time, right? They're 1-10-0 for a reason, or 1-10-1 for a reason. So it's going to be a very long season. Thanks for reminding me. Thank you.
Lil Perkin, I believe in reference to Jared Spurgeon. He's my friend's cousin. Go Oilers too. So I'm guessing, Lil Perk, you're from Edmonton originally, because that's the hometown of Jared Spurgeon. And I'm guessing if he is your friend's cousin and you're rooting for the Oilers, and you're from there too. But again, Lil Perk, thank you for joining the stream. Get your prediction in for the hat. Again, you can be strategic. You can wait till this game goes a little more and see if the Wild are going to continue to throw on some goals. You can do that as the entry for the hat closes 5 minutes into the third period. But again, all you have to do to enter, predict your game outcome in this chat, just like, for example, Sean Cosgrove did, saying 6-2 Wild. The chat is buzzing. Keep it coming. We love it. Andrew B saying, where's your bud? Dylan's taking the night off. Dylan is primarily a Vancouver Canucks guy. I cover the Wild on my podcast, the Soda Pod. So I sometimes jump on Wild Watchalongs, and I got our boy Richie from Sporty with Corey and Richie here on the Hockey Podcast Network from Arizona, who's covering the Arizona Coyotes here tonight with me, and I'm so excited and very happy that Richie joined me. So thanks again, Richie, for joining. Some love in the chat, nothing but love here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Is Andrew saying hello, Alex? How you doing? You're my third stream tonight. Wow. Well, very, very thankful that you're able to jump on ours, Andrew. Like we said, it's a pleasure having you on. Corey saying the more they lose, the more they win in the draft. Yes, and this year's draft, it's gonna be a nice one. There's some nice top prizes. Do you guys have your eye on anybody yet? Anybody that I know it's early, but
are there some names? Is this not like a well-known thing, or is this just because the Coyotes are so bad that we already know the number one guy this year, which is Shane Wright. Shite for Wright, everybody. Hashtag shite for Wright. Shane Wright's the big guy this year. He's been having a big season down in I believe he's playing in the WHL, and he's crushing it already. He's the number one prospect right now. Here's the thing: the Coyotes have crappy lottery luck. I don't want to relive the last time the Coyotes had a really good chance in the lottery. It brings me lots and lots of pain. So instead, I want to speak into existence that the Coyotes will have the worst record. They will have the best odds this year. They will win the lottery. They will get the number one overall pick, and Shane Wright will be playing for the Coyotes in a couple seasons.
Hey, I'm rooting for you guys. I want to see this team be successful, and I want you guys to have a great prospect pool who are just like on the brink of making this team when Austin Matthews leaves the Maple Leafs in free agency and signs with the Arizona Coyotes. And I would love to see that. And, speaking of positivity with the Arizona Coyotes, they score. Look at that.
What a terrible neutral zone turnover that was by Minnesota. And you know who they let loose here? Andrew Ladd was cherry picking in the middle of the ice, and he gets open free. Like, what do you do? Andrew Ladd is 36 years old, scoring goals for the Coyotes.
Andrew Ladd he's an AHL player at this time, and he's scoring on Kakkonen there. And yeah, that's one that Kakkonen probably wishes he had back to. Hasn't been tested too much in this game thus far. And yeah, what a bad turnover.
Andrew Ladd looked like me in beer league, cherry picking there, staying back at center ice. As I'll take it though. I'll take it. That was a good goal for Andrew Ladd. Good for him. Good for him.
Keep the comments rolling. We're going to jump back to the chat here. Again, if anything of note happens in this game, though, Richie, feel free to cut me off. I mean, look at that. It is a hockey game with just about 5 minutes left in this first period. It's a 2-1 game for the Minnesota Wild. Arizona. Andrew Ladd, old man Ladd, scoring for the Arizona Coyotes. But again, back to the chat. Where we at here? Sean saying, life's too short to bet the under, but on the Coyotes, probably the smart money. Little Perk saying, yeah, I'm from Edmonton. What up? Shout out Alberta. Lived in Calgary for 3 years, actually, right out of high school. Used to drive up to Edmonton for concerts and shows all the time. Saw Mac Miller, rest in peace. I saw him play, actually, at whatever that bar and club is at West Edmonton Mall. Little Perk, okay, so he locked in his contest prediction, which was a Wild 4-1 victory, then quickly changed it to 5-0. Look, I always say your first one is the one I lock in, so you're lucky. You're lucky that you actually had one for the Arizona Coyotes here as I lock this one in. Bear with me, everyone in the comments. We will get to all of them. I just didn't write these down one stream, and I totally screwed it up. So I'm just going old school. I'm making sure that I get them all in. Send your predictions in if you're joining us again. You have a chance to win this 20 Smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. If you predict the correct score and the winner of this game in the post-game show, we will get your information and we'll make sure that this hat gets to you. Corey saying, so proud of Isha for not saying Phoenix. It's hard. It's freaking hard because there's still the Phoenix Coyotes in my brain, and I have to think one step before I say Arizona. But yes, I'm trying very hard, and I appreciate you noticing. Okay, what the heck is this guy's name? You want to take this one, Richie?
Oh, I'm not even gonna try. But apparently he's 17 and he's 6'4", 225. So
Juraj Slavoski, whichever team gets him is going to be happy. 17, yeah, and he's already. That's insane. I honestly, Dan, you're more of a draft expert than me, which is why we bring Dan on our SodaPod draft show. I haven't really dug into it this year, but wow, that's a name that I can never forget. And B, I'm going to keep an eye out now as I start looking at the scouting reports and stuff. I usually don't watch much until after, or I don't look at all the scouting report stuff until like after World Juniors. That's just me. I don't really put too much weight into prospects early this season. However, my boy Spokes Z on the Judd's Buds podcast, he's kind of he's winning me over with the junior hockey talk a little bit more, because I usually just go to junior hockey games, especially up here in Canada, to just enjoy hockey. I don't like really keep tabs on like, what NHL prospect is on which team, though it helps every now and then. It does sell tickets, and I'm aware of it being a hockey guy and all, but that's not the reason I watch junior hockey, just from that perspective. Sean saying they changed the rules, so the worst they can pick is third now. Molstar reacting to the goal as Molstar's cheering for the Wild. Corey there, Coyotes goal. Andrew saying, no way, take my boy Matthews is all mine. Andrew being a Toronto
this is
guy,
good.
I'm guessing.
I'm glad he brought this up, Andrew, because you're going to be really mad. I'm about to say this here momentarily. So please get ready to put some expletives in the chat. It's 100% okay. I'm speaking this into existence, so I'm glad I have the floor. Here we go, everybody. Okay, so 2024, okay? That's 3 years from now. Now, couple things happening then. Number one, Austin Matthews is going to be a free agent, okay? Number two, we know the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't going to win a Stanley Cup between now and then, okay? We know that. It's been set in stone. It's been 50 plus years. Ain't no freaking way it's going to happen anytime soon, okay? Number three, Austin Matthews is going to be very angry at the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs can't win jack despite spending all the money on all the players and they can't win anything. So he's going to be really unhappy about that. Number four, he's going to be really unhappy that the Toronto Maple Leafs still won't change their freaking dress code to match the Coyotes, who have now relaxed their dress code. Austin Matthews has been on the record saying that this is a great thing and he wants it to happen. Number five, that's when the Arizona Coyotes Arena is probably going to be open in Tempe. At least we hope so, by around that time. So you see, everything is melding together here for when Austin Matthews becomes a free agent, and we are going to have a John Tavares 2.0 situation in which the Coyotes killing it in the draft over the last couple of years. They got a lot of talent coming up by the time their new arena gets built and opens. And then Austin Matthews is like, yes, my hometown team is ready to spend way too much money on me to come home and bring them a Stanley Cup. Austin Matthews is coming home, everybody. Austin Matthews is coming home. You heard it here first. Get this ready for 3 years from now and put it on a loop, everybody. Sorry, Andrew, I hate to break it to you, but it's going to happen. Austin Matthews is coming home when he becomes a free agent. Good night.
Look,
thank you,
Andrew. I love you, buddy. I really do. You make these streams just so amazing. You're the reason I get up in the morning to do these now. But screw Toronto, Austin Matthews. Let's bring him back home. Let's go.
Yes.
I'm Huckabee saying, "Oh, huge! I had Andrew Ladd as a throwaway pick." Molstar, good thing I didn't do score prediction yet. I was tempted to do a shutout Wild win. See, Molstar being strategic. For those just joining us on the live stream, hey, we really appreciate it. Sit back, relax, watch this game with us this evening. We're going another 2 hours plus, as we'll be on live here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel throughout the duration of this game. We'll also have a little post-game show as well. In intermissions in between play, we will give, barring the chat's just not buzzing with all your comments, your questions and opinions, we'll just give some takeaways of the period prior. We'll run down our poll question, and we'll continue to throw it back to this contest, as we want everyone to get an entry. But again, Molstar playing it smart here. Dan,
can I go back to that last Coyotes? Can I go back to that goal for a second?
Yeah.
So they put up a little graphic here on TNT. Dmitry Askin and Shane Gostisbehere got the assists on the Andrew Ladd goal. And Dmitry Askin back in the NHL this year. I believe he spent a couple years in the KHL. And that was his first assist since 2018.
Wow.
in the
Richie
NHL.
has.
So there's that. And I mentioned Shane Gostisbehere before the show. That is now his 9th assist of the season and 10th point.
There you go. I mean, yeah, you're
Having a little bit of resurgence here. He's.
I never thought that like he completely fell off. Now is he? I was gonna say a shadow, but is he a ghost of the player that he used to be? Maybe. But I just think that Philadelphia is just an interesting organization to play for. Like, if you fall out of love with that internally, I've heard things. Let's just say that where like the coaches and your fellow teammates don't make it easy on you. So maybe it just wasn't a good fit there anymore. Maybe the pressure and not a great working environment maybe made things hard for him. I don't know. I'm glad that he's finding a little success, barred on a team that's not necessarily pushing for the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and I think the Coyotes signed him to a couple years new contract when they traded for him too. So he's going to be around for a little bit, which is nice.
Yeah, and he's 28 years old, so he's not super old. And if he likes Arizona, then shoot. And a beautiful save by your guys' goaltender there. Ryan Hartman with a shot from Minnesota Wild. Again, I know, guys, I'm a little behind here. I got to refresh my cast here, my Google cast in the break as well. But yeah, Ryan Hartman again, a shot from not quite the point to get the puck on net there, but in the slot finds the lane, and wow, what a beautiful save by number 70 there for the Arizona Coyotes. What's his name again? I don't want to butcher it.
It's Karel Vejmelka. He's out of the Czech Republic. Yes, has never played a game in North America until this season, and he's come in and probably been the Coyotes' best player this year. So that's why I've been championing hashtag Vejmelka for Calder. Vejmelka for Calder.
And Dan Bradley saying your Slavkovsky. That was even harder than just than actually when you spelt it down. Put my brain into a pretzel there, Dan. But I appreciate the effort.
Slavkovsky. Yeah.
There you go. Is the pronunciation? I'm as high on him as Brett Marshall, prominent Minnesota Wild, Twitter folk, but also actually does great analytic cards, post Wild games too, and he's on the podcast Sound the Foghorns. Go check out Brett, but he's as high as Brett Marshall.
Bring up Andrew's comment, quick. Do it.
Rossi. I will
see Andrew's comment. He's.
Well, we're gonna do that. I think in the break, Andrew. We'll get into it because we're just under a minute of play left in this first period, so we'll put the bow on that. Kevin Fiala with a nice chance just moments ago. But Andrew, I promise we'll get to your comments here. We will get to them.
I fired him up. I'm fired up. See, this is what
that will be the topic au jour, as they say, in the first intermission. Can
we put out a poll on the Hockey Podcast Network Twitter account right now? Will Austin Matthews return home to Arizona when he becomes a free agent?
Look, I want to know. Save that one for when you and Corey do one of your live streams together, because then I'm sure both of you can fire up and get the audience going. But that is a good one. Look, we didn't prep too long before the show, or else you could have convinced me to make that the poll question, which we will run down the poll question as we're in the final seconds of this first period here. We'll run down the poll question. We'll run down the contest. We will address Andrew's comments and all of yours, as this is a comment-driven stream. You all drive the bus here. We're very fortunate, excited, and happy to be sitting back, cracking a cold one, watching this Minnesota Wild Arizona Coyotes game with you as this period just wraps up, and the Minnesota Wild actually applying pressure late in this one. Again, thank you to all of you who subscribed to this channel. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Videos and watch-alongs pretty much every single day of the week. Like this video if you can be so kind. As on the other side, we're going to talk about this first period. We had a couple takeaways each. If you haven't already, get your contest prediction, goal prediction, game outcome prediction in if you want in on this hat. 20 miles, 20 smiles from our friends at Gong Show Gear. And we'll run down where the poll question is at and your thoughts on it, as well as Andrew B's comment here. All on the other side, you're watching, you're viewing, you're tuning in to Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes hockey here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, alongside Richie from Sporty with Corey and Richie. Thanks again for joining us, folks. We'll see you on the other side. And we are back live on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes hockey. I'm Isha Jome alongside Richie Suave Flores here tonight on this watch along. We really appreciate all you who have been tuning in, and we really appreciate all of you who have just joined us here tonight. Again, get your predictions in, entry to this contest, and 5 minutes into the third period, you have a chance to win a 20 miles, 20 smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. All you have to do is get your predictions in the live YouTube chat. Who's going to win this game and what is the score? Again, you can be strategic. You can wait it out a little bit. There's still some time in this game as entry closes 5 minutes into the third period. But if you want in on this contest, get those entries in. Before we throw it back to the comments here, and again, it is a comment-driven stream. Just want to give a quick shout-out to our poll question, our Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel poll question tonight. It's on my Twitter page at VI Sports Talk. I'll throw the link in the live chat here momentarily. Some votes starting to come in. It's still early, but the poll question is, we ask you, you can only choose one jersey. Are you picking the Yotes Kachina or the Minnesota North Stars? Right now, the Minnesota North Stars lead 60% to 40%, but again, very, very early poll question here. I'll throw the link in the chat. As we move back to the chat, this comment here will start things off. Andrew B to Richie. Richie, take it away.
He says, I was discussing my conspiracy theory about Austin Matthews returning to the Arizona Coyotes once he becomes a free agent. So that's what Andrew here is referring to. And he says, first of all, spell my name right, dude. My name's right out there, normally right there on the screen. It's Richie. So you got to get that right next time, buddy. But thank you for watching. Anyway, he says, listen, you were so wrong. Not coming back home. He is in Toronto forever. No way you took that way, and they didn't win the cup since 1967, so it's time to bring the cup to Toronto. I disagree with that. Or else they probably would have won something the last 3 years while they've been spending so much stinking money. John Tavares was the guy. He was the guy that was going to bring the cup to Toronto. It's been 3 years, and they haven't won jack. When was the last time? Hey, you know how many playoff series the Toronto Maple Leafs have won, Isha? Like one? In the last 3 years?
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, the Arizona Coyotes have won more playoff series than Toronto Maple Leafs, I think. Or at least the same. The Coyotes won one playoff series, which is wild. They actually won their play-in round series a couple years ago, unlike the Maple Leafs. So I'm just putting it out there. I think everybody knows this by now. Unless you're the Chicago Cubs and the Boston Red Sox and you're breaking curses, there's a curse there in Toronto. Austin Matthews knows this. And he's going to come back home, speaking it into existence.
Look, and I don't even think it's out of the realm of possibility. Like he's playing. He started his career out with Toronto on a team that is supposed to be competitive. Which, respect to them, are competitive, but just can't get it done in the playoffs. Push is going to come to shove when he's like, look, I can make my money anywhere in this league, and respectively, I have made and am making money with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I want to actually go back home and save a franchise and be like, look, he's the star in Toronto and he's one of the stars in the league. Don't get me wrong. But it's just going to feel and look and be so much different in a market like Arizona versus Toronto, the mecca, or like they think anyways, the mecca of hockey in Canada. And look, I'll give it to them. It's the New York Rangers of Canada, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Andrew saying you owned me big time, Richie.
I won. Yes.
Thank you. Sporty saying the dress code alone will lure him in. Look, yeah, that Richie alluded to that earlier as well. Molestar 42 clearing things up. Look, this is why we have the best fans. We have the best viewers here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Molestar saying Foligno was actually credited with that second goal. The Moose himself. Now, Marcus Foligno, as again, since escaping Buffalo, has been an unbelievable player for this Minnesota Wild team. Definitely part of that core group that is like the captains, the leaders. Even if he doesn't have a letter on his sweater, he's definitely a voice in that room. I always say for the Minnesota Wild, Jared Spurgeon, he's like that silent captain. When he speaks, everyone listens because he doesn't speak a lot. Matthew Dumba's kind of the rah-rah guy, and Foligno, he's the one he's going to fire you up just based on his play, and he's also a loud and positive figure in that room. I mean, the Minnesota Wild's dressing room has changed so much, and just locker room chemistry has changed so much since Ryan Suter and Zach Parise are gone, because they were the ones who wanted to control the locker room. Maybe they wanted this to be their team. They're the ones who respectively drove Bruce Boudreau to town, who the team was on a roll, on a win streak, winning record when they fired them because it was Ryan Suter and Zach Parise's team. So things have changed. Billy Guerin has made those changes, addressed things, and it looks like things are going well for the Minnesota Wild. You've come out of this gate 8-3 thus far in 11 games played, right under the Blues, who are surprised themselves in the Central Division.
Biz was just howling on the TNT broadcast, by the way, which would never have happened on the NBC broadcast. If anybody else is watching from the United States here, we have a lot of Wild fans, so I'm assuming a lot of our viewers here tonight are very familiar with what NBC did on their broadcast, which is literally the most white bread, vanilla, boring stuff you'll ever watch in your life. We talked about this before the game started, Isha. Thank God for TNT, because that never would have happened on NBC. We have Biz howling. I love it. I love it. This is the great thing about having the Coyotes on national TV and having two guys with ties to the Coyotes on tonight's broadcast with Paul Bissonnette and Rick Tocchet, is you got two Coyotes cheerleaders on television, and that's awesome. That's so good. It's so good for the sport here in the state of Arizona, for fans around the country to see that, because we never would have seen that anywhere else.
So let's quickly talk about this game, and we will come back to the conversation just about this hockey in the state of Arizona as this watch along goes on as well. But just some quick takeaways from this game. I'll throw one of mine out there. The Wild's puck movement, I think, overall has been great. Now, say what you want about the Arizona Coyotes based on some of their other opponents. Look, the Wild opened up their season in California, okay? So again, I'm saying, like, they haven't faced the cream of the crop yet a lot this young season, but I think overall they're moving the puck well. Obviously, they took advantage of being on the power play and scored very early in this game and in the early parts of the period. But shots for both of this team, whether or not they're prime scoring chances or not, they're very even right now, and both teams are getting shots on net. As we go back to the comments here, Andrew saying, yes, you won. Congrats, Richie. Andrew, we love you. Don't leave us. Corey's saying the Coyotes have such great representation on TNT, and hey, it's cool to see that, like, you know, a prominent figure in the hockey media space, and, you know, Biz Nasty, say what you want about his podcast or whatever, the guy he's doing a great job in the broadcasting world right now. And like you said, Rick Tocchet, who just has a way with words, is doing great on that broadcast. And I think even over ESPN, TNT, from what I've been able to see, I think they're doing a better job.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to watch too much of the ESPN stuff, but from what I've seen, I think they're doing just fine too over there, which is good to see.
Over NBC, right? Anything over NBC.
Absolutely, yeah, and thank God, no more Pierre Maguire, who, if I'm not mistaken, is with the Senators now, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Was that who hired him?
Which was an interesting hire in itself in the summer. So what are some of your takeaways from this first period from like an Arizona Coyotes perspective?
It's pretty much what we expected from this team, and kind of what I was hinting at earlier in the show, which is the Coyotes battle. You know, they don't go away. They don't lie down, and their goal differential is bad this year, but they're going to hang around. They're going to stick around. They're going to take advantage of your mistakes, and that's what I saw from this Coyotes team is, you know, it's easy to go down 2-0 and then lie down and quit and just kind of give up on the game because your season's going bad. But they didn't do that, right? They took advantage of a bad Minnesota turnover, and Andrew Ladd, right place, right time, with a really nice breakaway goal against Capo Kakinen. So I liked the Coyotes' compete level in that first period. And again, that's kind of what I want to see from this team this year is they're dealing with a lot of guys on this roster who are playing for jobs elsewhere, whether that be with the Coyotes or be it elsewhere. And so you're going to have a lot of guys who have something to prove in a way. And I think that's why Shane Gostisbehere is doing so well. Somebody who's looking to revitalize his career. Andrew Ladd with the goal there. It's guys who are on their last leg in the NHL and are looking to continue to be playing. So I appreciate the Coyotes compete level tonight. Again, I don't think they're going to win this game. I have my prediction before the game was 4-2. I had the Minnesota Wild over 3.5 goals. I had the total over 5.5 in this game. So yeah, the Coyotes compete level is nice. So they're at least a watchable team, because a lot of times you can have bad teams and be completely unwatchable, but at least they're watchable tonight, and I can appreciate that.
No, I'll give you that. It's been a good game thus far. It's a 2-1 game out of the first. I'll take that 100%. Going back to the comments here again, Corey saying, well, Isha, howl for the next Yotes goal. I'll howl for the next goal for sure. I'll do that. I want to see more goals. I want this to be an exciting live stream. If it's a dud of a game, it's hard for us to get pumped in studio here and on this watch along alongside all you folks. So yes, I will do that. Hold me to that. Dan Bradley, and thanks to Dan for joining us tonight as well, saying, Richie, as a Cronkite alum, did you go to school with either Mackenzie Scott or Tara Taringo?
What a specific question. That's the most specific question I've ever been asked on a stream. I graduated in 2014. That was when I graduated. I do not know either of those people. I hope they're doing well. Go Devils. That's all I gotta say. Corey might know who they are. I have no idea.
That's such a funny. That's what I get as a Canadian. Any of my friends from the U.S. are like, "Oh, like I have a friend in Canada. Like, yeah, he's out in like Newfoundland, and you're in British Columbia, but you probably know them, right?" It's like, no, man. Like, just because we're in the same country, that's this bigger in landmass than the United States doesn't mean that we know each other. But thank you, Dan. I mean, there's always a chance. The sports world, the media world is very small. So there you go. Going back to the comments here again, comment driven stream. We want to hear your comments throughout this entire stream. We read them all and we will get to all of your points and thoughts on this game. When you talk to Corey, you'll call me and you will lose badly, Richie. And yes, I agree with you, your points.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
He doesn't still like you.
I'm a little much for some people, so I appreciate everybody tuning in here who is like, God, who is this Richie guy? He's a little weird. Thank you for bearing with me tonight. I appreciate it.
Hey, they're Yotes fans. They're gonna go a little crazy every now and then, but it's okay. It's okay. The organization is being turned around, right? Because, oh man, it's been a crazy few years for that organization. Dan saying, just saw it on your Twitter page. They're awesome people, so no surprise you are too. Oh, look at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Dan. Thanks, man.
No, Dan's awesome. Good friend of the Soda Pod. And yeah, I'm hoping to when I make my way out to Minnesota in the spring, in early April, I hope that I can buy you a beer, Dan, because Dan's done a lot for us on the Soda Pod.
Oh, you're coming to the States, Isha. Come out to Phoenix. You'll probably enjoy it. You'll probably enjoy it a lot more than Minnesota. No offense, but Minnesota's really cold this time of year. Arizona is not. Get away from the snow. Be a snowbird.
Come
join us.
Yeah, next winter I'll come spend in the sun in Arizona. But head in the spring to Minnesota because there's a lot going on there. It's not super cold, but it's not quite the crazy. It's not quite the summer there either, so it's kind of just a perfect time from what I've heard, or the worst time. We'll find out. Dan, you tell me. Corey's saying Richie is the greatest of all time. There you go. I'm gonna check back in on our poll question. I'll fire the link off in this chat too. I would love for you all for those viewing in and out of the live stream, I'd love for you to chime in on it. It's a jersey related poll question. If you can only choose one, would you choose the Yotes Kachina or the classic Minnesota North Stars? Rich, are you getting tired of fans? And I mean, we even see this in in some of these other past live streams I've done when Arizona Coyotes come up or the Florida Panthers come up, that everyone just always assumes that this is the next team that's going to be relocated. Is that something that grinds your gears as a loyal fan and someone who's respectively covered this team and who covers this team?
I get at every time I go on another podcast, whether it be on the Hockey Podcast Network or elsewhere, I always get asked like, hey, what's the situation down there? What's going on? And I always say the same thing, which is, and for everybody tuning in here, you're going to get this spiel too. I feel like I don't have it written down anywhere, but I feel like I should because I do the same spiel every time, which is, as long as Gary Bettman is the commissioner of the National Hockey League, the Arizona Coyotes will be not leaving. They're going to stay here. They're not going anywhere. Gary Bettman, this is like Gary Bettman's like little baby, the Coyotes, right? And he's not going to let them leave.
Though? Why is that?
Because Phoenix is, they just released a census here in the United States, and Phoenix is the 5th biggest city in the entire United States.
Wow.
Gary Bettman doesn't want to lose that market. Okay? Plain and simple. He could have moved this team several times over the course of the last decade, ever since they went into bankruptcy, and they never did. That was their best chance to do it, and if they wanted to do it, they would have done it back then, and it's not going to happen anytime soon. Thankfully, it seems like things are in the right direction with the brand new rink in Tempe. Corey and I cover it on our show all the time. And so I think the future is bright here for Arizona. It's just going to take a couple of years. But they ain't going anywhere, folks. Not leaving the state of Arizona. I will bet on that.
You heard the man. They're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We are going to take a quick break, though, and we'll be back to watch this second period with you here tonight. Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on this video. Really excited that everyone here is joining us tonight. Sit back, relax, crack a cold one, grab some snacks, watch this game with us. We're here with you the rest of the night and post-game here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Quick break, a word from our sponsors, and we will be back on the other side. And we are back live on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes live watch-along. Subscribe to our channel, drop a like on the video, and join our live chat. It's a comment-driven stream, so we're really excited to take your comments, take your thoughts on this game, discuss anything NHL, Arizona, or Minnesota Wild related throughout the rest of this watch along. I'm Misha Dromi alongside Richie Suave Flores of the Sporty with Corey and Richie podcast. A couple minutes into this second period, Minnesota Wild kind of keeping their feet on the gas pedal here, applying pressure, continuing to kind of set the pace of this game. Now, again, no disrespect to... Oh, and look at that. As I'm talking about them, the Minnesota Wild continuing to set the pace. They score a nice one. I believe it's Kevin Fiala, and there it is. That
was a great goal.
Kevin Fiala with a highlight reel goal. Lacrosse-like goal. Yeah,
that was impressive.
That.
So impressive hand-eye coordination.
Impressive hand-eye coordination as he tips that airborne, keeps his stick, in the legal position under the crossbar. But Fiala getting his only second goal of the season for his, I believe, only 6 point. Yeah, for his 6 point. He really needed this one, as Kevin Fiala hasn't been playing poorly per se, but Kevin Fiala doesn't have the line mates on this team. Now, again, it's a deep team. There's a lot of great players on the Minnesota Wild roster, but not the line mates where he could really find success, where he can really have a top center that can set him up for all those beautiful shots. Don't get me wrong, though. He can do everything, as you saw there. There's Molstar commenting, goal! Fiala, Dan says Fiala just scored the dirtiest goal. I mean, it was beautiful, as we just said, and Fiala needed one. He really did need one. Andrew saying, yeah, my pick is still alive. Yep, there it is, with now the Minnesota Wild leading 3-1 those who are predicting a high-scoring game, like Richie did also early, they're laughing now. As we get back to the comments, again, comment-driven stream, keep them coming. We'll touch on the contest, we'll touch on the poll question, and we'll continue to talk about our live reactions to this game.
The goals are coming quick and fast. People, I'm seeing a goal on our score sheet here, and I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, another one. Look
God,
at that.
what a disaster.
We're a few seconds behind this, but I'm seeing the play actually transpire right now, and look at that. Just after Fiala celebrated, we have another one. Another one by Dmitry Kulikov, who those listening to the Soda Pod know I'm not a big fan of. But wow, does that just take all the momentum out of the Arizona Coyotes team, who starting this, we're not even 5 minutes in. We're barely 5 minutes into this first period, and the Wild have notched 2 goals up there. One nasty one by Kevin Fiala, and a respectable one here by Dmitry Kulikov, who, upon taking the pass from Jordan Greenway, was able to skate around his man, who actually tried to poke check it away, and the goaltender just not in position for that one. Richie, thoughts on the goal?
Yeah, let's go back to that Kevin Fiala goal. First of all, that was a beauty. I can't deny that. And that was the second goal tonight where Vejmelka really couldn't have done much differently than he did, right? I mean, the first goal of the game was, or there was a goal early in the game on a deflection, on a screen. Couldn't have done much about that goal. Same thing on the Fiala goal. That was just a great play by him. Vejmelka out of position on that fourth goal. But this is something that's happened to the Coyotes earlier this season too. I believe in their first or second game of the season, where I think it was actually against Colorado, maybe their first game against Colorado, and they gave up like 4 goals in the span of 2 minutes, and the wheels just fell off, and it was a disaster afterwards. And I feel like that's happening here too. Is just you just had the wheels fall off there you lose focus for that much, and the Wild are a good enough team to take advantage of it. And I'd like to point out that, ladies and gentlemen, if you were listening to us before the show, we have yet another best bet that just cashed. I had the over in Minnesota Wild total goals, 3.5. That was number 4. So that cashed that one right there. Also, I took the Minnesota Wild minus 1.5 in this game. They are currently leading by 3 goals, so we're on the verge of cashing that too. Long way to go in this game. I also took the over of 5.5 total goals in this game, and we are well on our way to getting that. So tonight might turn out to be a beautiful, beautiful night for me when it comes to DraftKings Sportsbook. Of course, you can sign up with the promo code THPN if you haven't already. So I hope you were listening beforehand.
And a lot of people who got their predictions in, and again, entry for our contest tonight. We have a ton of new viewers who just joined us. So I'll run this down before we're going right back to the comments. It's a comment-driven stream, so get your comments in the live YouTube chat, especially your prediction, the outcome of this game. You tell us what the score is going to be, and you tell us who you think is going to win. I mean, it's looking like it might be a Wild win, but you never know. There's a lot of hockey left to be played. You tell us your prediction with the goal count, and you have a chance to win this 20 Smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. Put that in the chat. Entry ends 5 minutes into the third period. In the post-game show, we will choose our winner. But back to the chat here. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment. Mad Mike, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Says it's 4-1 now. Fiala so dirty. And we had, like I said, Little Perk saying woo, Molster going goal. A Little Perk saying now no more goals the rest of the night, or rest of the game rather, as you will win big. What was it 3,500 you have on this game? Dan Bradley, just as shocked as I was. Kulikov in this economy? I know, Dan, I can't believe it. I mean, there's not many players that I can't stand as much as Greg Patterin. Kulikov is up there, but tonight I'll show him some love. The Minnesota Wild now lead this game 4-1. I mean, Arizona late in that first period made it a hockey game. It was only 2-1, but 2 quick goals by Minnesota, leading now 18-8 in shots. Get Andrew saying, yeah, let's go Wild. I agree, Perk. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment said, games on TNT in the States. Yes, it is. And Mad Mike saying Coyotes are just plain bad. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
That's trademark that, because that is 125% true. I can't sugarcoat this, ladies and gentlemen.
And this was Dmitry Kulikov's first goal since February 27th, 2020. Honestly, I honestly thought it would be like 2018, and I wouldn't have been surprised, Dan. So I'm shocked that he actually scored in 2020 because Kulikov, some promise as a prospect and a young player, but I don't know. I can't stand the player. I think he's awful. I really do. That's the one defender that the Wild brought in that I was like, I don't know. I would rather see Jamie Benn play. There, I said it, Wild fans. I said it. No Vancouver Island bias whatsoever. Little Perk 30 saying no more goals because I got 4-1 locked in. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh my, Perk 30 says Andrew.
What was the highest goal total that we have so far from our contestants, Isha? Because I feel like we got a lot of high goal scorers predictions, but I feel like this one could get out of hand really, really quickly and be really, really high.
Yeah,
the way this is going.
Keep the comments coming. It's a comment-driven stream. We absolutely love the interaction. You know, we're sitting shotgun. You all are driving the bus, so we appreciate that. And I see a couple more coming in, so we'll get to them in a sec. But yeah, we got some 5-1s, 4-2s. 6-2 from Sean Cosgrove, my boy Sean Cosgrove. We got 4-1. I'm just gonna assume Mad Mike is saying it's a 4. Oh no, Mad Mike's just came in there. This is 6-2. Yeah, so we got a lot of high scoring ones. I mean, nothing under 4 goals for either of the predicted winner. And for those who just joined the live chat and the live stream, the watch along here, Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes. If you predict the outcome of this game, the winner, and the goal count, you have a chance to win 20 Smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. 5 minutes into the third period, that's when we're cutting the entries, and we will announce the winner in the post-game show. Back to the chat, though. Here we go. Mad Mike saying, to VI and Richie, what do you guys think of the TNT NHL theme song? I like it. Richie, your thoughts? You hear it more than I do.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's cool. The NBA on TNT theme is kind of iconic now, so I feel like the NHL on TNT theme is right up there with it. It's good. It doesn't quite beat the ESPN theme though, which is top notch.
Yeah,
and I'm glad they brought it back for this time around.
They had to.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if anybody else in the chat here, I don't know what anybody's ages are or anything. I'm just old enough to remember the NBA on NBC theme song, which is Round Ball Rock. And if you watch from time to time and you're watching college basketball on Fox Sports 1, that will pop up. It pops up in March Madness too once in a while. But when that comes on every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, it brings me back.
Love it.
We're like diving into the weeds here, but to answer your question, Mad Mike, yes, I enjoy it. Good stuff.
And like I said, Mad Mike, much like any of the new viewers, you can get your contest entry in. You can wait. You can be strategic. You can wait until 5 minutes into the third. That's when we cut the entry. So you can be strategic. You can be, kind of a scumbag. No, I'm just kidding. It is strategic. It's smart. You can do that. But if you want to get your predictions in now, go right ahead. Much like Mad Mike Sports Entertainment did, saying a 6-2 Wild victory. I'm Huckleberry. I don't know what this was in reference to, but we're laughing. We're having fun here as well. Dances, I'll just say 7-2 for my pick and set the bar high. That's the highest thus far, Dan.
That's actually a good transition because I'm looking at the DraftKings Sportsbook live bets here. And the live over-under right now is 8.5 with the under slightly favored at minus 135 odds.
Get out of here.
So
wow.
Yeah. So they think there's going to be a lot more goals scored in this game. We're not even halfway through and we're at 5 goals right now. So
I know, and my boy Josh is trying to change his score. Josh, you already had yours locked in at 4-2 Wild victories, so I'm not letting you change it. Andrew saying, don't forget Phil the Thrill also be at Yotes. I mean, Phil the Thrill is with the Yotes. Is Phil the Thrill the real deal this season, though? I don't know.
He scored a couple of goals. I've actually been surprised with the amount of production the Coyotes have gotten from him because he was injured all of training camp. He was dealing with a lower body injury, and so the first game action he got was in game 1 of the season. And should he have been playing? I doubt it. But they wanted to keep that, Iron Man streak alive. He's got a couple goals this year. Had the game winner, I believe, against Seattle, or at least he had a big goal in that game and that win. So he's been fine, and I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank. So I know he's on the trade block. I think he wants out of Arizona to try and get one last crack at a Stanley Cup. I think he's made that very clear. So I have a feeling he's coming to the end of his time as a Coyote, and very mixed bag. But I think Coyote fans have embraced him, though. I think most fans like him.
Nicholas Lee, thank you for joining us. What's up? Welcome to the watch along. Yeah, the contest. You give your prediction of this game. You tell us who you think is going to win and what the final score is going to be, and you have a chance to win this 20 Smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. 5 minutes into the third, we're cutting the entries, and then in the post-game show here on this watch-along right after the Wild and Arizona game, we will announce the winner. So get your prediction in, Nicholas. Mad Max Sports and Entertainment says, I'm 27, and I remember both NBA on NBC and NHL on the ESPN. So there you go. So he knows the theme songs too. I like it. Andrew B, I'm pretty sure you got your entry in already. Yeah, you said 4-3 for the Wild. So you can't change it 8-4
We have a bunch of cheaters listening to us tonight. What's going on here?
That would be crazy though if that's if that was the score we left we signed off with.
Hey, not unprecedented though. I don't think Corey's still watching us, my co-host with Sporty with Corey and Richie, but if she is, she remembers this game a lot better than I do because she was in attendance. But there was a game back in 2019 or 2018-2019, I believe, during that season. And the Wild were playing the Coyotes here in Glendale, and Darcy Kemper got hurt in that game. This was also the first time Darcy Kemper played Minnesota, like as a Coyote, if I'm not mistaken, or like that season. And Darcy Kemper gave up, I believe, all 8 goals in that game against Minnesota. Darcy Kemper got hurt. Coyotes missed the playoffs that year, but the final score in that game was 8-5.
Wow.
8-5 Minnesota. And normally not much of a memorable game, but the fact that the Coyotes lost Darcy Kemper in that game, he was pretty much out for the rest of the season. The Coyotes missed the playoffs in large part due to the fact that Darcy Kemper got hurt. I think for Corey and I, we will never forget that game because Darcy Kemper was one to not play well against his former franchise. There were a couple times where he was chirping back and forth with some of his ex-Wild players.
Man, you don't talk to when Koivu was still playing. You don't talk to Koivu like that.
Exactly. And the Wild got under his skin. He had a bad game, got hurt, and so it's not unprecedented for these two teams to score a ton of goals.
It's funny, whenever Darcy Kemper played the Wild, yeah, it was a curse, man. It was 100% a curse. Again, totally interactive here. It's a comment-driven stream, so we'll go back to the chat. Nicholas saying, okay, 6-3 Wild. Nicholas, you're entered, my friend, and that's I think that's pretty bold. Think that the Yotes are going to get 2 more goals? 2 more goals? You think they're scoring 2 more goals, Richie?
I doubt it. I think they might get 1 more, but 2 goals is a lot. Unless we're talking about like score effects setting in here, and the Wild are up big, and they're up 5-1 during the third period, and they start playing back in more of a defensive game, which is not out of the question. And then they let the Coyotes kind of get back in that way. But as the game is going right now, I don't know. We know the Coyotes scoring struggles this year are large, and you and I talked about that earlier in the show, but. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Coyotes are getting on the board again in this one. They're gonna get lucky to do it,
especially when old man Ladd is scoring goals off a break.
Yeah,
he has no business being on. Nicholas Lee says, "I almost bet the under on this game. So happy I didn't." Yeah, Richie's having a good night to betting the over.
Yeah, we haven't hit it yet, but it's close. It's close.
Mad Mike, we love it. Keep the comments coming, Mad Mike. Thanks, big thanks for you joining us here on this Minnesota Wild Arizona Coyotes watch along on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and drop a like on this video. He says, among other cool sports themes, I remember the MLB on Fox and TBS's awesome NASCAR theme song, Thunder Fist. done by the same person behind the Nickelodeon Double Dare theme, Ed Kill. That is the stat of the night. Wow. I love that. That's
great.
So cool. I mean, this is going to be underwhelming, but the World Junior song on TSN is also TSN's Scotty's curling tournament song. I don't know if you knew that, but there you go. There's a fun fact for you as well. Again, I said underwhelming compared to what Mad Mike brought to us earlier. He says lofty expectations for a sucky team there, Nicholas.
By the way, speaking of curling for just a moment, since this game's kind of out of hand at this point, you have no idea how excited Corey and I are to watch curling at the Olympics. And there's a part of me, in fact, that is more excited to watch curling at the forthcoming Olympics than I am the hockey tournament.
Oh,
I know that's crazy, but
I'm Canadian and I think that's crazy.
But the United States men's curling team won the gold medal at the last Winter Olympics. And I think that's why we're so excited, is because the U.S. men's hockey team probably going to be terrible this year. Not going to be great.
I wouldn't say that.
They ain't going to win the gold medal. Stop it. Stop it right there.
You have the best goaltending in the entire tournament.
Oh, cool. Whatever. They're not going to win shit. They haven't won a gold medal since 1980. Like I was talking about earlier with the Maple Leafs. They ain't going to win the gold. They had their chance in 2010. They freaking blew it. Thank you, Sidney Crosby, for that. Flashing back to that. God awful. But
Jerome McGinley, Sidney Crosby is beautiful. By the way, Jordan Greenway, he's taking a cross-checking penalty here. Now, Jordan Greenway, a promising player coming out of the U.S. development program and Team USA. Speaking of the Olympics, I'm pretty sure he played on that Olympic team when the NHLers weren't allowed to go there, alongside Ryan Donato at the time, too. He takes penalty for cross-checking. He puts Arizona on the power play, and Jordan Greenway hasn't been in D. Nevison's good books as of late. He was scratched the other night, and looks like rookie Brandon Duhaime is kind of taking his place in the lineup. So this is not helping his case to stay on this team. Now, I still think a promising trade piece for the Wild. I mean, they're not going to get anything stellar for him, but they can still get some value back for him if, again, he doesn't have a future on this team. Again, you're watching Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes. Watch along here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. 19 shots for the Minnesota Wild. They are on the penalty kill right now as the Arizona Coyotes try to get something going.
This is where Jacob Chychrun was like the man last year. The Coyotes power play wasn't great last year, but he was usually pretty good about getting some shots off from the point on the power play. And there was some consternation from Coyotes fans earlier this year when Andre Torini didn't put Jacob Chychrun on the top power play unit. He's out there right now, and so this is what I want to see more of from Jacob Chychrun. He just had a shot on goal there, but got to see more of that from Jacob Chychrun if he wants to get his game going this season, because we were talking about that again prior to the start of the show, is why he's been struggling. And getting him a shot from around this, from the circle area, basically, that's good on the power play. So
Shane
I'll take that.
Looked great on the power play too. He played pretty much the whole thing up until the whistle there. Over a minute. The blue line is his. He's kept the puck from trickling over the blue line. He's been able to distribute it well. Again, I'm pulling for Shane Gostisbehere, the Canadian. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment saying, and they just played Let It Go from Frozen at the Coyotes game. ... Haven't seen, I do like the Pixar, and I don't even know if Frozen's Pixar. I like the Pixar movies. I'm behind on all the Disney movies as of late because I'm just so damn busy with the day job and doing stuff like this. So I admittly haven't watched Frozen. I don't have any little cousins or little siblings or anything like that.
That's
either.
Where you're missing out there, because my roommate has a 5-year-old daughter. And she obviously loves Frozen. So I've seen Frozen and Frozen 2 approximately 7 dozen times. And that's why you haven't seen it. So I don't blame you. Okay, I wouldn't have seen it.
Frozen's not Pixar. It's Disney, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out one of these days.
Put it on the list. I think it's actually pretty entertaining. In the second one, Frozen 2, got some banger songs in there. Got some banger songs.
Well, apparently, because they're playing them at a Arizona Coyotes hockey game. The Minnesota Wild successfully kill off that penalty. And again, the Arizona Coyotes, credit to them. They moved the puck well. They actually applied pressure. So only 11 shots on goal. But Kakkonen was tested a little bit, the most thus far in the second period on that power play for the Arizona Coyotes. So a little bit of momentum in their favor. I know they're down by 3 goals, but there's plenty of hockey left in this game, just over the halfway mark. But quite a bit here left a good chunk of left in the second period, and we'll be back in the intermission for you, running down this second period, running down the game overall, and of course taking all your questions. It's a comment-driven live stream here and watch along the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, so we really love all the interaction. Mad Mike Sports saying it's Disney animation, but it's not a Pixar work. I've seen it 5 times. 5 times? Shoot, it must be good. It must be good. Dan Bradley saying Coyotes getting another power play here. Yeah, I just saw the Minnesota Wild on delayed penalty. Dan, we're a little behind you here. So on my screen, the Yotes still have the puck. They've had the puck for over a minute now here with the Wild on this delayed penalty. Moving it nicely.
Yeah, this is, I talked about just moments ago how the Coyotes are going to get their goal, which is having the Minnesota Wild kind of understand that the game is 4-1. They can start playing more in their own zone and kind of playing that defensive shell type hockey. That's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's what we're seeing here, because that's what happened to the Coyotes. They were actually applying pressure, drawing the penalty in their own zone. Antoine Roussel, who is a Coyote now, Isha, in case you didn't know.
I know very well. Tripped up there by John Merrill. Mad Mike saying Coyotes power play equals here comes Let It Go.
I don't know if that's the correct song to be playing when you're going to the penalty box or going on the power play. Because if you're saying Let It Go, I think you're trying to tell the referees that wasn't a penalty. So it's very counterintuitive. Coyotes game presentation. Come up with a better song when you're going on the power play.
Yeah,
Play Werewolves of London. That's what they should do. Werewolves of London for a while was the Coyotes' victory song for Moore and Zevon, and it's awesome. And it's great. Howlin' for You now is kind of the big goal song, victory song. But that's what they should...
By the Black Keys, I think that's outstanding. That's perfect.
Yes. It's perfect for the Coyotes, right? But I actually like Werewolves of London a little bit better, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm a huge Black Keys guy, so that's why I just think that's perfect. Andrew saying Crosby signed with a picture when he scored at the Olympics. He did that for me. Wow, well, lucky you, Andrew. I'm jealous there. I'd love some Crosby signed golden goal memorabilia myself. Mad Mike saying
thank you.
Yeah, bring back Werewolves of London for the Coyotes goal song. Mad Mike, I love it. I love the interaction here. And we'll keep the comments coming, ladies and gentlemen. We love this. We love interacting with you. You guys are driving the bus. We're sitting shotgun here, watching this Minnesota Wild Arizona Coyotes game with you here live on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Again, for anyone coming in and out of the stream, our contest is still going on. Time is ticking though. Shit clock's ticking, as they say. In the Trailer Park Boys. 20 miles, 20 smiles hat is up for grabs. All you have to do is predict your game winner and the score. And if you nail it at the end of this live stream in the post-game show, we will announce a winner. If there's multiple people who hit this, we will draw names from said hat for the hat on the post-game show. So get in on it. Entry closes 5 minutes into the third period. Dan saying Werewolves of London is a certified banger.
So good.
Mad Mike saying, I believe I follow the Soda Pod on Twitter. Well, thank you very much, because that is my podcast. I'm one half of the Soda Pod. Isha here alongside the State of Hoppy. We have a ton of new contributors on the Soda Pod too. We got Spoke Z. We have a representative for each D1 Minnesota College. So, and we have some more contributors coming up. We have Joel Geyer from the Brewery Travels. It's crazy there on the Soda Pod. So go check it out if you're a fan of craft beer and all things Minnesota hockey, college, women's hockey, high school hockey, and of course your Minnesota Wild. Andrew saying, I'm going to go watch some NBA now, so I'm out. Peace, guys. Peace, Andrew. Thanks for joining. Tune back in.
Go watch the Suns game. I think are they winning right now?
Show,
probably better than watching the Coyotes, to be honest.
I mean, you're watching some fun Wild hockey here, and the Arizona Coyotes are on a power play. But Andrew, check back in the post-game show to see if you won the contest, my friend. Little Perk, who's still with us. Thanks for joining us tonight again, Little Perk. Not an Oilers power play, that's for sure. No, that is true. There's not a lot that look like an Oilers power play right now in the National Hockey League. Maybe Washington, Ovechkin, he's scoring at a McDavid and Draisaitl level, or maybe Draisaitl and McDavid are scoring at an Ovi level, as they're the only ones who are really separating themselves points-wise from the rest of the league. Old man Ovi at 36 years old. He wants that goal record this year, Richie. He wants it this year.
Hey, bring it on. I want to see it happen, just to watch all of Oilers fandom just melt down because the great one has gotten beat by somebody.
Hey, look, if he scores, I believe, at a 2-goal per game pace, he could break it this year or tie it this year. Hoppy broke it down on a YouTube video on the SodaPod YouTube channel. I believe it's exact. If he scores 2 goals per game this year, he will tie the record. So he could do it this year. I mean, I'm just like, that's analytics right there, right?
Yes.
Using numbers.
That's right.
There you go. Mad Mike saying, I just followed Richie on Twitter too. Oh, nothing but love here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. So thank you.
I don't think, Mike, I don't think you're ready for my Twitter feed.
It's not that bad. I'm worse. Kate Berry says, holla, what's up, Kate? Thanks for joining us tonight. Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes hockey. A little bit different than the last stream you joined.
Sorry. Okay. That's a Packers? Is that Packers? I think that's Packers. It's very tiny, but if that's Packers, I'm glad that's not Aaron Rodgers. Okay? That's good. I don't know who that was, but
oh, and it looks like we got a power play coming for the Wild as Scott just joins the stream. What's up, Scott? Thank you for joining us. And yes, indeed, looks like we have another penalty here on the
good
Arizona
stuff, Clayton.
Coyotes.
Good stuff.
Not a lot of shots from either of these two teams as of late, as Clayton Keller here hooks Kirill Kaprizov. But the Minnesota Wild do still lead in the shot department by a large margin. Mad Mike's and Kaprizov to the gate for hooking. My mistake. Yeah, the other way around there. Clayton Keller getting the hook. Kate saying yes. Well, thanks for joining us, Kate. And you know the drill, too. If you want in on this contest, and Maple Leafs Media, who just joined as well, you can get in by predicting the outcome of this game. Tell us the final score, your thoughts, your prediction of the final score, and who do you think is going to win. To get in on this, 20 miles, 20 smiles hat, courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. If you predict if your prediction comes true in our post game show here, tune back in and you will win this hat. Entries to the contest close 5 minutes into the third period. Maple Leafs Media, what's up, Maple Leafs Media? Thanks for joining us here on the live screen.
Can't wait for Maple Leafs Media to go back and watch my Austin Matthews rant. That's going to be great.
Kate Berry says it's Aaron Jones.
Thank you. I'm just not familiar with the Green Bay Packers roster, but Kate, if you're watching, I'm a big Rams fan, as you can tell. So congratulations on beating the Rams in the playoffs last year. And I'm looking forward to the Packers-Rams matchup coming up here in a few weeks. That game's going to be super duper exciting.
And so the Minnesota Wild now on their power play. The Arizona Coyotes did a good job early breaking things up, making the Minnesota Wild having to reset a couple times now. One all the way back in their own zone, the second time from the neutral zone, as the Arizona Coyotes making it difficult for the Wild to set up, but the Wild finally do, as they try to get some shots here with a minute left in their power play. As we go back to the comments here, barring another goal, which Richie will let me know, and the comments will let me know right away, as Roussel's being a little French prick, as he likes to be. I like it. Cross-checking Fiala from the ground. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment. I've been trying to do my audition pieces for that motorsports blog, Front Stretch.
Good luck, man. Good luck. I'm a big motorsports guy. If you see behind me here, that's one of the shows I'm a producer for, Speed Freaks, a national motorsports radio show. I was actually out at Phoenix Raceway this weekend for the NASCAR Championship race, and it was incredible. It was a great weekend. Congratulations to Kyle Larson. Mike, if you are a motorsports fan, I'm sure you will know that the Xfinity race, the finish to that, was incredible. And I was right there at the start finish line for that race, and it was insane. It was insanely cool. So thank you for bringing up motorsports. I'm a motorsports guy. So good luck, man. Good luck.
There you go. Good luck, man. Not a motorsports guy myself, but I wish you all the best. You got nothing but good vibes coming from us here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Dylan has entered the chat. Look at these beauties. What's up, Dylan? Wow, 4-1 Wild. What an upset. Yeah, okay. Oh, but what a save by Kakkonen. Wow. On Lawson Krause, no less, who's been hot as of late. Short-handed almost. Did the Arizona Coyotes get another goal here as Lawson Krause gets the breakaway here as a bad giveaway by I believe Matt Dumba. And on the backhand gets stoned by Kakkonen. Wow. Kakkonen's best save of the year thus far for him, as he's only played in a few Minnesota Wild games. Very nice save from Kakkonen. Dan Bradley saying Roussel going after Fiala. What a douche canoe.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for that. The douche canoe reference there. Douche canoe. That's a phrase that me and Corey like to use all the time on our show. But going back to that Lawson Krause chance, good for him. I'm so glad he's having a bounce back season here this year. Good chance for him on the PK there. Almost had it. He was snake bitten last year. He could not score a goal to save his life. And this is a guy who, in previous seasons, was a guy who, I think his career high was like something close to 15 goals. So, he can bring it. And for whatever reason, last year he just could not freaking score. So to see him get those couple of goals against Seattle was huge. Almost had one there. He's having a nice season there.
Yeah, Dan Bradley saying Kakkonen just stole Lawson Krause's soul. I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I mean, that was a damn good save. And it looks like we have yet another penalty on the Arizona Coyotes. A hold or a high stick? It was holding the head. It was holding the neck of Matthew Dumby here. So a 5-on-3 for 25 seconds. Again, it's probably 25 seconds ahead of when I just said that right now, but 5-on-3 for the Minnesota Wild. They've had success on the power play thus far.
God, 21 shots. That was too easy. Jesus.
21 shots to 13, and look at that. Look at that. Kaprizov 5-1 for the Wild. There we go. He is no longer snake-bitten. Kaprizov making this look easy. As Scott comments, goal Wild.
Again, I hope everybody was listening, watching us before the game, because I brought you so many great bets. That's courtesy of our friends at DraftKings, and I have hit on a lot of them so far. And just that goal alone, we have now hit the over/under. We are now at 6 goals. Cash that bet, ladies and gentlemen. I also told you to bet on Kirill Kaprizov as an anytime goal scorer. I believe that was about plus 135 odds. That just hit as well. So I am cleaning up on DraftKings tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And the Coyotes are going to lose this game, but for the love of goodness, and we brought this up on a recent show too, if they're going to lose, at least I'm making money off of the Coyotes losing, and I appreciate that. So thank you, DraftKings. And you see the promo code down there, THPN.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They support us, so please go support them. The chat is going wild. Kirill the Thrill. Let's go, Kaprizov. Kate Berry reminding us all that she said 6-1 Wild. Yeah, I got it noted. And right now, there are some 5-1 Wild predictions. There's a few 5-1 Wild predictions. I'm Huckleberry being one of them as well, who's still in the chat. So this one's a fun one if you're a Wild fan. It's it's business as usual if you're an Arizona Coyotes fan by the sounds of Richie Flores here. Or I saw it coming here, or Dick Flo, as Dylan said.
That's right.
Dylan commenting here, Richie, have any of the additions from the Canucks trade exceeded expectations, albeit the expectations are low for all those guys? Good question, Dylan.
Yeah. No, they've been pretty bad.
I mean, JB won a face-off tonight, Dylan.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I will say that there were some big expectations on Louis Eriksson because he had a big preseason. He had like 4 goals in the preseason. Has not replicated that this season. But yeah, I'd say it's the Canucks are coming.
He never will, Richie. He never will.
I agree. And Connor Garland doing well in Vancouver. Good for him. I'm glad he's doing terrific. And I think Oliver Ekman-Larsson is actually having a decent season too, if I'm not mistaken. So,
yeah, no, he's looking good. Kate Perry just, I know this from Kate, but Richie, in case you didn't know, Kate Barry, she joined us on one of our last watch-alongs. Fan and a supporter of the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Says, I'm a Pens fan, by the way. Dan's leaving us, unfortunately. All right, that's it for me getting late on the Eastern time. Much love, gents. Great work tonight. Dan, join us
Thanks,
anytime.
Dan.
The keys to the castle or yours. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We really appreciate it. Good night. I'll retweet from my channel if those have checked me out on Twitter at VI Sports Talk. Dan's doing great work in his own right as well, so I'll be sure to share his stuff there. Dylan saying, Richie, I thank you for your honesty. Please treat Louis well.
I will say this. I think
actually you don't have to.
Louis Eriksson, he seems like a really good dude. Like I feel like a lot of Coyotes fans really want him to do well and really like him. So I will say that.
That's good. As far as Canucks fans wanted to find out where he was living, and let's just say it was not for positive reasons. Molstar finally getting the prediction in. Time for a score prediction. 7-1 Wild. There you go. Being strategic on this one. Going for
wouldn't surprise me.
Dylan just said, fuck that guy. I'm guessing that's for Louis Eriksson.
So I think I triggered Dylan just by bringing up his name. I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, sorry. Any Vancouver Canucks fan. Nicholas Lee says, what did I miss? My baby girl woke up. Oh, shit, they scored again. Yeah, it's a 5-1 game. It is a 5-1 game for the Minnesota Wild here. Kaprizov made that look easy. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment said, Devils fan here. I've been on Neil's podcast, awaiting the call to join him one more. Yeah, Neil's actually in Chicago right now doing a little sports trip there. Neil Villapiano does the Devil's State of Mind podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network. Keep those comments going, ladies and gentlemen. It's a comment-driven stream, and we absolutely love it. Scott is saying, I'm surprised Talbot isn't playing tonight. Yeah, Scott, I was surprised with that too when I saw the opening lineups for this team. My only argument is that Everson saw that Kakkonen's going to have to shake off some of the rust a little bit, clear the cobwebs, and figured, hey, this is the best game to allow him to do that. That's kind of my perspective on that. Luke B saying Kaprizov getting 2 tonight. Maybe. He hasn't been scoring a lot, but, I mean, everyone seems to be buzzing. Richie, I'm fuming, says Dylan Kaiser. Billions of blueberries had to be picked in Vancouver to pay for Louis' contract. Wow. Now, that's an inside joke because Francesco Aquilini, owner of the Vancouver Canucks, owns various blueberry farms in Vancouver. And let's just say he had some run-ins with the law of best practices as far as how the workers were their working conditions at the blueberry farm. So we'll just leave it at that. Wow, the chat is buzzing. The stream has been buzzing. The
Minnesota Wild are buzzing.
The Minnesota Wild are buzzing.
I'm buzzing after I've had 2 beers already, so to get through this game, I need it.
There you go. 5-1 for the Minnesota Wild thus far, and there's a whole third period to be played. So we'll take a quick break. Richie. We'll get to all the comments. Again, keep them coming on the other side. We'll wrap up this period and give our thoughts on the game as a whole. We'll run down the poll question. We'll throw it to our contest again, give a couple last shout-outs for that because 5 minutes in to the third period, that's when the contest entries end. And again, it's a comment-driven stream, so you tell us what you want us to talk about. We will we'll bring your comments on screen. We'll address them all, so keep them coming. Before we go to break here, I'm Huckleberry saying, I love Garland on the Canucks. Very fast, one of our best right now. He's popping off. OEL playing good too. Yeah, Connor Garland's been unbelievable for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm sure he's being missed. Or he's missed from the Arizona Coyotes market. Richie?
Yeah, that was the one guy that the Coyotes traded away in the offseason that I was most bummed about, I think, between him and Christian Dvorak. And I'm glad now that he's in another market now that is getting to experience Connor Garland, because his tenure in Arizona, he was only getting better and better and better. And he's a hard-nosed player. I don't think people like playing against him, but when he's on your team, you love that he's on your team. And I'm glad that another market is getting to experience Connor Garland. And I'm glad that he's signed up for a couple years to come, because I think Vancouver fans are really going to love this guy. And I think he's one of those guys that I don't think he's got a letter yet, but at some point, if he sticks around long enough, he will become a leader on that team.
Oh man, and the fans are falling in love with him. Okay, we're in the second intermission now, so we're gonna take a quick break. On the other side, we'll get to all the comments. Keep them coming. It's a comment-driven watch-along. It's a comment-driven stream. You're tuning in to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes hockey here. Joined alongside Richie Suave Flores. Quick break. Gonna throw it to our friends, a quick word from our friends at DraftKings, and then we will be back second intermission, and we will take your comments right out of the gate here on the Hockey Podcast Network. And we are back live on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Second intermission for this Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes NHL game tonight. on a Wednesday night here. I'm Misha Dromi, joined by Richie Suave Flores from Sporty with Corey and Richie, the Arizona Coyotes podcast here on the Hockey Podcast Network. Like I said right before the break, we're going right back into the comments. We will run down the poll question. We will, again, talk about the contest as it's about to close out here. 5 minutes into the third period officially, and we will officially make that cutoff live while we get gameplay back going here. But throwing it back to the comments, as it's a comment-driven stream, please. We love the interaction. Keep the comments coming. Where we at right now? Luke B saying, I'm glad Pitlick is getting time over Rask. Yes, me too. Victor Rask has no business being in this lineup. I know we had chemistry with Kaprizov last year, but let's be honest. Let's bring some better center talent in. Let's make sure Kirill and Eriksson Ek build that chemistry so we don't have to see Victor Rask anymore this season. His contract's up at the end of the season anyway, so we'll never see him again after this in wild colors. Dylan getting his prediction in 6-5 Yotes. Jesus, Murphy, Dylan. Luke B saying Dylan is a believer. Respect. Nicholas Lee saying Wild score one more and AZ scored two more. Need that hat. Nicholas' prediction there. Yeah, I mean, Nicholas, I wish you all the best. And what drama that would be. I would love that as someone who's doing a watch along in a live stream tonight. I would love to see that. Dylan saying comeback of the century tonight, folks. Strap in. Oh, man. Luke B wouldn't be mad. And I imagine, Richie, you wouldn't be mad either with that.
Oh, well, that's a whole other conversation. It'd be fun for the stream if they came back and won, but for the overall, the Coyotes winning this game is not good. I'm just going to put that out there. Going back to the beginning of the stream, we were talking about the chances of the Coyotes getting Shane Wright and being at the top end of the draft. I'm okay with the Coyotes losing a lot of games this year, which, hey, I'm glad Luke brought up this question because I was just looking this up. Right now, it's not that great. Right, but I think
the prospect pool,
the Coyotes prospect pool, it's not that great, but with what Bill Armstrong did over the offseason, it's going to get better. 8 picks in the first 2 rounds next year. They got that first-round pick from Vancouver in the 2021 draft, which ended up being Dylan Guenther, who's crushing it right now for the Edmonton Oil Kings of the WHL.
Unbelievable prospect.
He's got 15 points in 14 games right now, and I think Coyotes fans are very excited about him. Couple other players that to look out for. Victor Soderstrom was a first-round draft pick 2019 or 2020, I think. Or no, 2019. Sorry, 2019. And he got some time in the NHL level this year. He's now back down in the AHL. He's probably their top defensive prospect. Barrett Hayton in the lineup tonight, one of the Coyotes' top prospects. Kind of a quadruple A player, for lack of a better term right now. On a similar track that Dylan Strome was, which is a guy that just hasn't figured out the NHL level. So, and then we have Kirill Vejmelka, who is now the Coyotes' top goaltending prospect, probably. Prospetov in the AHL, another goaltending prospect. So it's kind of barren right now, but I think it's going to get better. And there are some other guys kind of down the list who are having good seasons that Coyotes fans know and are paying attention to. But for right now, it's kind of barren, but it's going to get better.
I mean, after this year, you damn right it's going to get better. Keep the comments coming. We love it. Colby Miller saying 6-2 Wild. So I've locked in your prediction, Colby. Thanks for entering the contest. For anyone who's new to the stream who just joined in, you have a chance to win this 20 miles, 20 smiles hat courtesy of our friends at Gong Show Gear. All you have to do, much like Colby here, is give your game prediction. Winning team and score. So there you go. Thank you very much, Colby. And in the post-game show here, when this game is done after the third period, Richie and I will check the entries and we'll see if we have a winner. And if we have multiple winners, we will literally do a draw from this hat. Andrew saying, can I stick with my second scorecard? I think I just put your first one there in, Andrew. That's what I said at the beginning. You give me it's your first prediction that gets locked in. Dylan K is saying you didn't write it down. What the fuck? I did write it down, Dylan. I did. It's written down.
It's pretty hard to forget too there, DK. Really hard to forget.
I got them all written down. I'm Huckleberry just laughing away. This is the second time that Huckleberry has sent us like a descriptive laugh, right? It was LMAO earlier in the stream. Now he's hitting us with the LOL. Luke B, embrace the tank. Something I wish Minnesota would have done years ago. I mean, Minnesota has been like in that mediocrity, bubble team for so long, and they haven't committed to either side to go all in. Actually, they kind of committed to go all in when they signed Parise and Suter. I'll give them that, but they haven't torn it down. They never had since they've come into the league. They've just kind of always been trying, which they're the little engine that could. I'll give it to them. But now things are starting to get a little bit different with how the team is run, and Billy Guerin wants to build this team the right way, not just compete for the sake of getting to the playoffs, I imagine. Dylan saying, I'm putting my money down on DraftKings with promo code THPN. Screw it. Screw it, Dylan. Do it. Andrew B saying, Nurse as well in Edmonton. Do as Hyman. What, get paid?
The Coyotes right now on DraftKings plus 2,800 on the money line.
Wow. What is the kilometer conversion for the 20 miles and 20 miles? That's 32.8, if I'm not mistaken. 32.8 kilometers and 20 miles for all those Canadians out there watching the stream. Nicholas Lee says, I'm so happy I'm getting back into hockey. Well, Nicholas Lee, I'm so back that you're getting back into hockey and that you're joining us here on this live stream. We really appreciate it. Like I said, subscribe to the channel as we have so many contributors on the Hockey Podcast Network. So go check that out, thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. Team covering a podcast covering every team in the National Hockey League, plus original and niche content. So we're happy to fill that void and jump on that ride with you, Nick. Luke B, hopefully the score doesn't change. I had Wild 5-1. Yes, you did. I see that here. Yes, you did. Dylan doesn't think I'm writing them down. I got every single one of them written down. Andrew B, who I thought left us. He's back.
He's back, baby. He wants more of my Austin Matthews to Arizona takes. That's what he wants.
I want to know where Donald is. Donald West. He's another regular on our live streams, but usually just when the Vancouver Canucks play. He might join us in the post-game show. Who knows? He was on his auntie's computer last time, so we'll see how that happened. Sean Cosgrove, who needs to tank when you get 5th round gems? Hey, Kirill Kaprizov, let's go. Sean,
Connor Garland, another late round pick that the Coyotes made a couple years ago. So
what a steal, man! What a steal, Sean. Where was Brandon Duhaime picked? Sean's my stat guy. He knows everything. He credits Google. I credit Sean. Sean is my Google. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, Parise and Suter were bad contracts. The length of the contract, 100%. At the time they were signed, everybody was signing those type of contracts. So you look at Shea Weber that same season. The Philadelphia Flyers threw him that offer sheet that pretty much almost tanked the Nashville Predators payroll there. As they got it done, but they had to move him as a result. They weren't happy that he signed that offer sheet with the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's just say that. So I agree, because the Minnesota Wild are still paying for it, and they bought out those 2 contracts, yet they're still literally paying for it, and it's going to be against the cap. It's going to make things difficult for Billy Guerin to continue to build this team with dead money on the books, especially the next few years, as that's when it's really at its highest. But I think at the time where the Minnesota Wild were in their development, at the time with that roster, put it this way, everyone in Minnesota who I've talked to, all Minnesota fans, diehards, they were so happy that July 4th when those 2 were signed. And yeah, they didn't live up to the expectations maybe that people thought, and that they were going to bring the cup back to Minnesota. But Parise and Suter, and I say Suter even over Parise, were really, really damn good players for that team throughout that run. So that's what I'll say on that. Kate Berry says, I wish Minnesota would lose because I don't like Minnesota since I'm a Wisconsin fan and I want Minnesota Wild to lose. I know. See, Kate's a Wisconsin Badgers fan here, Richie, both on the women's side and on the men's side. And I cover the Minnesota Wild, especially the Minnesota college scene, and I'm all for the Bemidji Beavers, even though the Bemidji Beavers women's team got absolutely whooped last week by Kate's Wisconsin Badgers. Keep the comments coming, ladies and gentlemen. We absolutely love it. Since puck has dropped for this third, we will take a quick break. We will address the comments right when we get back into the stream. We'll run down the poll question, and we'll give a last shout out to this contest, as many of you can bring or can actually get your last entries in if you haven't already. So on the other side, the last period, this third period, Minnesota Wild lead the Arizona Coyotes 5-1. And we're going to take a quick break, though. Quick word from our sponsors. It'll be a quick one, like I said, and we'll be back into the thick of things again. Keep the comments rolling. We love the interaction. It's a comment-driven stream. We're riding shotgun. You are all driving the bus. Again, thank you all. We'll see you on the other side. And we are back live on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Isha Jerome here alongside Richie Suave Flores for some Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes hockey. The chat is blowing up. I love it. We're going to get right to the comments even before we run down the poll question and even give a final shout out to the contest, which there's 2 minutes left. So if you haven't entered the contest, given your game prediction, final score, and the outcome of this game, get that in the chat. Get it in right away. But we have comments coming in hot here, Richie, so we will address them.
Got a new goaltender for the Coyotes, by the way.
Oh, thanks for that update. Thanks for that.
Yeah, we have Scott Wedgwood in net for the Coyotes here to start the third period. And interesting move. Yeah, interesting move by Andre Turini to relieve his number one goalie. And I wonder now if my guy Vamelka starting to get a taste of what the NHL is really like here, because this is the second straight game where he's been pulled and hasn't finished it. So,
and it looks like the Minnesota Wild take a penalty. Nico Sturm getting penalized here for a for a trip that, I don't know, that one seems a little soft to me. I don't know your thoughts, Richie. But anyways, Wild.
Yeah, I didn't see the replay. I didn't see the replay there, so
okay,
I can't comment.
Wild shorthanded here. Arizona back on the power play. 17 minutes of this third period. Before we get to the comments, because I want to make sure we squeeze this in, as we have a bunch coming, we will get to all of them. It's a comment-driven stream, so keep them coming. This is your final call-out. Entry closes after this. If I don't see any more comments come in this next minute here, it's done. It's over. 20 miles, 20 smiles, hat. All you have to do is give your prediction for this game, the score, and who you think is coming out on top. We have a ton of predictions right now, and a lot of you are close. So get them in these next 2 minutes. When this Arizona power play is done, the contest will be over as well, and we will announce the winner in the post-game show. So barring the Arizona Coyotes score here, as the Wild, though shorthanded at this moment, lead in the shot department 24-13. It was tied pretty much up until halfway through the second, and then Minnesota really took the lead on that. The Coyotes like to really ride their big guns on the power play too, as we saw Gostisbehere getting a lot of time on their last power play. Kessel now getting pretty much the entirety of the power play as well, and a nice few chances here from the Arizona Coyotes. But okay, let's get back to the comments, as we did take a break and we missed a few that came in here. So we'll start with Luke B, following up from Kate's comment, saying she wishes the Wild would lose because she's a Wisconsin fan. And yes, Wisconsin and Minnesota hockey fans, and sports fans rather, I mean, they don't really get along. So Luke saying, Kate, just give in to your desire and become a Wild fan. Kate responding, no. Nicholas saying, I needed to change, Luke. Sean saying, Duhaime, 4th round, 106th overall. So there you go. Another stud, a young stud for the Wild, but another player picked late in the draft. Andrew saying, Richie, what do you think of Kyle Beach's statement?
Oh, man.
Andrew, we don't have time for that on this stream. This is a Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyote stream. But again, and I've said this before.
I'll be quick with it.
Okay, well, I'll just say, if you want more on it, on the Soda Pod, my co-host and I, we interviewed a longtime beat writer and radio host for the Chicago Blackhawks who followed this team throughout their run and their, quote unquote dynasty. We had a great interview with him, and he called it, one of the biggest cover-ups in all of sports history. And he's been around some of the great sports stories there. We have a 30-minute interview with him on the Soda Pod podcast and Soda Pod YouTube channel. But quickly, as we get to more of the comments here, Rich, you can give a comment on that for sure.
Watching that entire 30-minute interview between Kyle and Rick Westhead, and shout out to Rick Westhead. As somebody who comes from one of the best journalism schools in the country, Rick Westhead has always been the best investigative reporter in all of sports. And he has been on top of this story from the beginning. He's really been the only hockey reporter on this story. And watching that interview with Rick Westhead was heartbreaking. Yeah, and man, my heart goes out to Kyle 110% for everything he went through. And it was a tough interview to watch. I know a lot of people weren't able to get through it all because they're survivors of sexual assault or sexual abuse or any kind of abuse like that. And if you haven't seen it already, go watch it. It's tough to watch, but it is 110% worth watching. And the most heartbreaking thing about it was when he was talking about how he felt responsible for what happened to the young boy up in Michigan who was also a victim of sexual abuse. And that was heartbreaking. To hear him say, I'm sorry for what happened to you, it broke my heart. And it sucks. And I hate to bring the stream down, but you asked for my opinion. That's what's going to be. It's just heartbreaking. My heart goes out to Kyle, and I hope the NHL and Gary Bettman gets off their ass. I hope Donald Fear gets fired, and I hope there's more to come from the NHL in terms of retribution for what the Blackhawks did in covering up that scandal.
No, well said. And I mean, the story, it's ongoing, so it's not the last we're going to hear from it. Again, check out David Schuster's interview that we did with him on the Soda Pod for more on that. And look at that, the ghost, Richie. You didn't bring this down at all, because look at us. We are right back up as the ghost Shane Gostisbehere makes this a 5-2 game.
What a goal. Right from the slot. What a beautiful pass. Shane Gostisbehere, 2 points again tonight. He's been the Coyotes' best player tonight. Not even close. Probably been the best Coyotes player all season long. And congratulations to him. I was actually looking prior to the game to see if I could find a Shane Gostisbehere prop bet, because I wanted to bet the over on his points. But Isha, DraftKings did not offer an over-under on points for Shane Gostisbehere tonight, or else I would have hammered that.
I'm disappointed.
Absolutely hammered the over-under because he's got 2 tonight. What a goal. Good for him. Again, you're seeing Coyotes battle. They don't go away. They had a couple bad minutes there in the second period where they gave up a couple of goals. But other than that, they're hanging around. They battle. They're not going away yet. So, good goal from Shane Gostisbehere. I'm glad he's having a good season.
Oh, and the chat is blowing up here. I love it. Let me get caught up here. The Ghost scores 5-2 now. Nick saying, "Oh my God, it's getting close." Lol. We'll get to some of the more recent ones. Here, just want to get caught up with what we have coming out of break. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment says, "I believe Utree has a video of the Prize Suter fiasco." What fiasco are we talking? Just their signings in general? Andrew says, "I'm down because of my score." Well, look, Richie's uplifted because of his team scoring there. Luke B. Duhaime is a beast, and he wasn't even the talks of the top prospect in the organization. I know, Luke, but Spoke Z, if you don't follow him on Twitter, he's a prospect guru. Spoke Z has been high on Duhaime for about 2 years now, so he will roll his eyes and be like, "Look, I keep talking about him, but who am I? I'm just Spoke Z on Twitter." So I agree. There wasn't a lot of hype other than what I've heard from my friend Spoke Z leading up to even this season about Brandon Duhaime, and he is their best prospect right now because he's playing with the team and he's ripping it up. Kate Berry saying Beavers are bad, but they're my team. They can be bad, but I love Bemidji. They're my team. They're my new adopted team anyways. Andrew B saying, "I'm back because I want to, and I want to see my guy Isha." And of course, Matthews talking to Richie, keeps in talking trash about my guy. How about you talk about Marner, or Kerfoot, or Engbum? Because we want to talk about your guy, the Arizona boy. That's why, Andrew. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, Sturm to the box, tripping. Yeah, we saw that. Look, there's so many comments. We're a little behind here. So I apologize, folks, but we're getting to them all. We will get to them all. Coyotes power play. Yeah, yeah, just let it go again. Marquis Santos. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Let's go wild. 6-1, boys. Run that up. Well, it will be 6-2 now if they score next with just at 12 minutes left in this third period. Kate Berry said it was yes, hoping for 6-1. Definitely going to be 6-1 watch. Again, 6-2 now, maybe 6-2 since Arizona Coyotes just scored there. Nicholas Lee, come on, boys, score 3 more goals. Little Perks is probably going to be a 6-1. Again, 6-2 or 7-2 game. Dan Bradley, by the way, predicting the 7-2 game before he left us there. And then what was Dylan's outrageous one again? 6-5. 6-5.
Hey,
win.
Dylan's looking good. We still got 11 minutes left to go in this game. Yeah, we're still not over yet. Coyotes, by the way, shooting percentage tonight, 11%. So I like that. That's bad. That's
not bad
good.
At all. Yeah,
2 goals on 17 shots. It's good. I like that.
Yeah, still 17 shots to the Wild, 24. Again, I mean, I'm not blaming Kalkonen at all because the Wild are winning this game, but I haven't liked necessarily the goals scored on him tonight. But again, this is the game where Dean Evison clearly put him in to shake off some rust. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, the Ghost scores. Yeah, we addressed those ones here. There go all the 1 goal predictions. Right. There's a lot that I just crossed off my list there. Nicholas, yeah, reminding us I just need to get 1 more goal from each team to get that 20 miles and 20 smiles, baby. Molestar 42, RIP my predictions, end of second intermission, 12:49 in the third. Maple Leafs Media, what's up? Maple Leafs Media picked up Ryan Hartman in fantasy. Need more than 4 shots on goal tonight. Yeah, he has been active tonight, though, away from the puck. But I get it. If you're in fantasy, you obviously want the points. You obviously want the stats. But Ryan Hartman, hands down, one of the best Wild players this season. He's MVP already in my books. And you're saying Maple Leafs Media, how are you doing? Another Maple Leafs fan in the chat here. Another disappointed fan, probably, when Austin Matthews eventually walks and comes back home to Arizona. Look, now we have just conversations going on in the chat. I'll leave that to you guys.
Yeah, can I quickly mention, Isha? We
Yes, please.
watching the TNT broadcast again. Jennifer Botterill is reporting right now. She's a Harvard graduate, and she's talking about Lindsey Fry, who is also a Harvard graduate. Lindsey Fry, former member of the former member of the U.S. Women's National Team. Currently the radio analyst for the Coyotes. And I just want to bring her up real quick because we don't get to talk about too much of this, and I'm glad we have a lot of people tuned in so I can talk about this. But the growth of the women's game here in the state of Arizona has also been absolutely incredible to watch, and Lindsey has been one of the big reasons why.
Yes, of course.
Lindsey Fry is one of the big people who made the Arizona Kachinas possible. The Arizona Kachinas are the girls hockey program here in Arizona. So we are continuing to watch that program grow. They have the Coyotes basically built a brand new rink for the girls program. That's how big the program has become. And Lindsey Fry was a big part of that. And so I just wanted to make sure I shouted her out. Shout out the Arizona Kachinas. Another member of the development organization is Matt Schott, who has been dealing with some health issues lately, so I want to wish the best to him. But he's another member of the hockey development program here. And again, when you look at the growth of hockey here in the state of Arizona, and you look at the participation rate, it continues to go up, and Lindsey and Matt are a big part of that. And so I'm glad that Lindsey got a shout out on the broadcast from TNT tonight. So if you want to look them up, you can just Google Arizona Kachinas, and there are merchandise available. There is Arizona Kachinas merchandise available. So if you're watching from out of state and you want to support girls hockey here in the state of Arizona, if you go to the Arizona Kachinas website, they do have merchandise available that you can purchase. It's really cool. And I recommend doing that, and that's probably the best way to support girls hockey and women's hockey here in the state. So
yeah, I heard about her contributions and her whole story. She appeared on the House of Hockey podcast, which is a part of our network here at the Hockey Podcast Network. Last summer, I want to believe, right when the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Going back to the comments here. Angie putting me in my place, saying Maple Leafs Media is a YouTuber, not a fan. Well, maybe he's a fan too. I don't know. You tell me, Maple Leafs Media. But again, thanks for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate it. The chat's buzzing. The Wild are buzzing. Hell, even the Yotes are to a certain extent buzzing.
Shane Gosh Despair is buzzing.
They're making this
2 points tonight.
It's a 5-2 hockey game. It's not a complete blowout here, you know. The Coyotes, I don't think are going to take this one. I don't think they're going to live up to Dylan's prediction, which was a 6-5 Yotes victory, which was crazy talk given where the Yotes were when he made that prediction in this stream. But again, I'm not surprised with the outcome of this game. If the Wild score any more, then maybe I'll start to raise my eyebrows as, look, the Wild, they have firepower up and down the lineup. Again, I keep saying it, they're one of the deepest teams in the National Hockey League, but their top guys haven't necessarily been putting it together as of late. Now, I want to say that with the caveat is in this game, you know, Fiala getting a very nice goal, that beautiful tip or deflection rather, Kaprizov getting a nice goal as well. So they are getting points in this game, but I'm just saying overall, it's been the depth, it's been the Hartmans, the Zuccarellas, the Matt Dumbas, hell, who've been helping to put up points. I mean, even Brodin's up there as well. And, Jonas Brodin is not known for nor expected to put up a lot of points in the National Hockey League. By the way, Jonas Brodin, underrated defenseman, one of the most beautiful skaters. He's a joy to watch. It's unbelievable. Not super fast. Like, he's no Connor McDavid, Pavel Bure out there, but it's just beautiful skating style to watch. Maple Leafs Media, I'm a diehard fan. That's a YouTuber. There you go. Just like us here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, those Wild Winter Classic jerseys, not a fan of them. Looks like ugly Christmas sweaters. I'm torn. I'd say there's that stripe on the top, like above where the crest is. I say you take that out, and it's okay. It looks old, like it looks classic, and that's the look they were going for. So I dig it. I love how they're gonna go with the brown gloves, those old school style hockey gloves. The overall kit, Mad Mike, I like. I could make some adjustments to the jersey. I'll say that much. I like this one better. And we'll leave it at that. Kate Berry says, is Dan Bradley a Wild fan? Yes, he is. He's an all NHL fan, I'd say, over just the Wild. Like, he's not a crazy homer. But yes, I believe he follows the Wild first and foremost. Kate Berry, if you're on Twitter, Dan is very active there. And he, is always down to talk hockey. So you can ask him himself. Ask him yourself, rather. Maple Leafs Media asks, who's your favorite team? Richie, who's your favorite team?
Well, that would be the Los Angeles Rams. Was that what you were asking?
Team. He means hockey.
Was
team.
that? Oh, were you talking about the Phoenix Suns? Is that who you were talking about? Where's? Oh, I don't have that hat over here. I'm a Diamondbacks fan too. Ugh. No, I'm a Coyotes fan. Duh. Like when
he's a Sun Devils fan too. If we're gonna keep going down this road.
Yes.
Which, by the way, love that they're a D1 hockey team now, and they're awesome. They're a team you want to root for.
Yes. Speaking of which, Josh Doan is on the Arizona State Sun Devils this year. He was an Arizona Coyotes draft pick this year.
Yes.
You may recognize that name. He's Shane Doan's kid. He's having a great season this year for the Arizona State Sun Devils. And yeah, to see the growth of that program over the last, several years has been incredible. Because for those of you that don't know, here's a little backstory here as we're 7 minutes left in this third period of this hockey game. I'm going to go on a little bit of rant here and give you a little bit of history lesson about Arizona State hockey. So, I was a student at ASU. I went to ASU. I graduated in 2014. When I was a student there, I was part of the broadcast team for the then club team for the Arizona State men's team. They played in the ACHA, which is, basically the biggest club hockey organization. And a lot of times it's a feeder to go NCAA. Penn State came from there. Arizona State came from there, etc.
UNLV's there right now, for example, which is a growing program.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's how I got my start. I did play-by-play for ASU's men's team. I did color. I did a lot of work for them. I was at Oceanside Ice Arena on a consistent basis in college. And I remember at the time kind of talking about the team with a lot of my fellow students there, and a lot of us were like, man, I don't think we're ever going to go Division I, right? Like, we're just going to be a really good ACHA team for a while, and that's about it. And so when they became a Division I NCAA team, I was like, I didn't expect it to happen. And now they're getting kids from NHL players that come to the program, right? Like Mario Lemieux's kid was on the team for a while. He has since decided to leave the sport and pursue other things, right? Joe Niedermeyer's kid is playing, I believe, with Arizona State right now. Shane Doan's kid playing with Arizona State right now. So to see the growth of that program is incredible. And next season, they're actually opening up a brand new rink built specifically for Arizona State hockey. And to see the growth of that program has been incredible, and they're only going to get better. And shout out to Greg Powers, who is the coach of that program right now and was the head coach when I was in school there. He's been around forever. Good head coach, and I can't wait to see the growth of that program going forward into hopefully what becomes a go-to program for in the NCAA, because I think it's funny. Corey has since left the chat, but my co-host on Sporty with Corey and Richie again, if you're just joining us. And one of the things that we also used to joke about was that when ASU was ACHA, they used to sell the team based off of, hey, you can come and play hockey here, and you can walk out of the rink in shorts. And oh yeah, there's beautiful women everywhere you turn. And so if that's not a draw alone for a lot of college kids, that's a good thing. So I'm excited to see that program grow.
Absolutely love it. Excited to make my way down there and actually go to a game. My top 3 NHL teams. I mean, I could go on a whole rant about junior hockey. I'm Canadian, so I won't. Love the WHL. That's just my main league in the BCHL that I follow. Support any team in there pretty much. But my top 3 NHL teams are the Minnesota Wild, the Vancouver Canucks, and the Washington Capitals. Maple Leafs Media also saying the Wild uniforms from their classic are spicy. Do you like them though? Do you agree that they hit the mark as they went classic? Those look classic as hell. Maple Leafs Media commenting on your football take there. Bills Mafia, my other channel, is the Bills Bunker.
Sorry.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
I'll throw a subscription to that channel, by the way, because thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Nicholas Lee saying, I think I lost. Let me see, Nicholas. Let me see. There's a lot of names here, so bear with me. Not quite. Nicholas Lee, your prediction was 6-3 for the Wild, so you're still good. Maple Leafs Media says, interesting. I'm currently a student in sports journalism. Well, you're talking to the right guy. And keep crushing it, man, because it just takes a lot of hard work. I didn't go to sports journalism, but I did go the communications / media route. Ended up starting the Hockey Podcast Network with a good friend of mine. I mean, Richie, he's been working in sports media much longer than even I have. So keep grinding, man. You're killing it on YouTube right now. We wish you nothing but the best. And join us anytime on these watch-alongs. We really appreciate it. Andrew, Richie, are you a fan of WWE? And you look like right-hand man, JUSO?
So I'm not a fan of WWE anymore. I used to be a big fan back in the late 90s and early 2000s, but I do know who Jey Uso is, surprisingly. But I don't think I look anything like him. That's really funny. I'll have to do a little comparison after the show, but I'll take it.
Keep the comments coming, ladies and gentlemen, especially in the post-game show. Comments on the game, comments on the Wild or the Yotes, questions for Richie or myself, any topics you guys all want to get in on here on the Hockey Podcast Network live watch-along. That will be the post-game show. We'll go as long as you folks want to go. When the comments dry up, that's when we'll hang up the skates. We'll go over our poll question as well, but in the dying minutes of this game, a nice actually surge, a little surge anyways, from the Arizona Coyotes, who were able to actually get some shots on goal late this period. The Wild, haven't shot the puck much since the last time I gave the shot rundown. So the shots are 22-28 for the Minnesota Wild, who still lead 5-2 in this game. It's comment-driven stream, so we're going to continue to hit up the chat. This one's for Richie. Where do you think the Coyotes go after this season?
Great question. Thank you for asking. Also, thanks for the follow on Twitter, Mike. I know you said that earlier, but I want to shout out the fact that Mike's Twitter, it's kind of hard to see. He's a Swiftie. Says Mike Taylor's version. So
wow.
Yeah, if myself and Corey, my co-host on Sporty with Corey, both big Swifties, I'm very excited for Red Taylor's version coming up this weekend. So shout out to you, Mike. Look, I'm glad we're both Swifties, so we're going to get along very, very famously. But to answer your question, for those of you that don't know, the Coyotes' lease at Gila River Arena is over after the season because the city of Glendale, where the Coyotes currently play, where I live, right across the street from myself. In fact, I can walk over there if I want to. The city of Glendale canceled the lease. They were on a year-to-year lease. The city of Glendale canceled it. So the Coyotes essentially have nowhere to play after this season. However, there are some contenders. So nothing's set in stone quite yet, but the leading contender seems to be playing at Veterans Memorial Coliseum just outside of downtown Phoenix. Now, I'm going to kind of dumb this down for people who aren't obviously from the city of Phoenix. Veterans Memorial Coliseum was the original home of the Phoenix Suns back in the late 60s and early 70s. This building is about 50 years old. It is currently the home to the Arizona State Fair. Okay? This thing is in bad shape. It's a dump. Okay? It is, of course, it did host hockey back in the day. It was home to the Phoenix Roadrunners, the WHL and the IHL back in the day. However, it's going to need a lot of renovations. It's going to need millions of dollars in renovations. It's going to need a brand new ice plant to make the ice NHL ready to play. And obviously, we're less than a year away from the next season. So it's going to be a lot of work. But that's the leader in the clubhouse right now, seemingly outside of maybe a last-ditch effort to play at Gila River Arena for one more season. So that's seemingly the leader in the clubhouse right now. They are not playing at the Suns Arena whatsoever. And because Robert Sarver won't let the Coyotes play there whatsoever. But right now, that's seemingly the leader in the clubhouse. So hopefully we get some more information on that soon.
A little scramble with only 10 seconds left in this game in front of Capo Kakkonen. Frustrations boiling over. Thanks for all the comments. We'll get to them all. Again, it's a comment-driven stream, especially in the post-game show. We'll get to a couple more here before the end of this game. We take a quick break before we dive in to the post-game show, so stay on. We will be right back. We will take all of your comments, but we'll dive into a few more here as this game is just wrapping up. But again, Lawson Krause just all over Kapanen tonight with a few opportunities, as he's the one who kind of facilitated this scramble after his chance late in this game. Kate Berry says the USPHL is my favorite. My brother played for the USPHL. That's awesome. Maple Leafs Media says, yes, I like the uniforms in referring to the Minnesota Wild's Winter Classic. Grant Chung. How's it going, Grant Chung? Friend of the Hockey Podcast. Our contributor covers the Calgary Flames for us. Blasty's Corner podcast. Go check that out. As the Minnesota Wild wrap this one up, they're 9-3-0 this season with a 5-2 victory over the Arizona Coyotes. The Yotes have how many draft picks in the first 2 rounds next year? Yeah, they have a lot. We talked about the prospect pool a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more about it on the other side because Dan the man is in the house. Make some sounds for Dan from Richmond. Dan, we're excited that you are in the house. Maple Leafs Media, Nicholas Grant, all the rest of you who've commented. Nick Flores entered the chat. We will get to your comments on the other side. We'll wrap up the contest. We will pronounce a winner or winners. We may have to do a draw. We'll wrap up the poll question, and we will take all of your comments. And basically, that's the post-game show. We want your comments on this game. We want your comments on the teams. We want your comments on topics NHL-wise. And if you have more questions directly for Richie here in the Arizona market, please do so. We'll go as long as the comments come in. And we'll wrap up with some of our thoughts on this game too before signing off. So again, thanks to everyone who's tuning in and out, who has tuned in, who stayed the entirety of the stream thus far. Post-game show next on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes. We'll see you on the other side. We are live. We are back on the post-game show here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, wrapping up this Minnesota Wild, Arizona Coyotes game. The Wild coming out the 5-2 victors. Before we throw it to our poll question, before we announce the winner of this contest for the 20 Miles, 20 Smiles hat, before we take more questions directly at Richie, because there's been a lot of them today, we want to quickly go and make sure we didn't miss anybody in the chat. It's a comment-driven stream, so we'll go as long as the comments come in. We love the interaction. We love all of you. Subscribe to this channel if you could be so kind. Like the video if you want to see more watch-alongs. Pretty much every single day of the week, Watchalongs will be coming out of the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. And if you could be so kind to check us out on the podcast side as well, if you're jonesing for more hockey podcasts, the hockeypodcastnetwork.com is where you can find all of that. But throwing it back to the chat, Maple Leafs Media, reach out to me on Instagram at Maple Leafs Media if you're interested in a collab for a Leafs game of your choice. Absolutely, we will do that. Thank you so much, Maple Leafs Media. Expect a message from me later tonight, my friend. Nicholas Lee, do you guys show the lines before the games or no? Well, tonight we did, as Richie ran down the lines for this game and his best bets.
Yeah, the betting lines. We didn't show like the actual like lines on the ice, if that's what you're talking about. You can find those pretty much anywhere around the web and on Twitter. But no, when it comes to betting lines, you got it. Because Isha, with the game over, I would like to point out that I made some money tonight, baby.
What a night. What a night. Well, run them down. We'll get to all these comments.
Yeah, so I made 10 bets on tonight's game, and I hit on 5 of those 10 bets, with most of that being where I place most of my money. So the money in which I won $18 tonight, started with 28, ended up with 46. DraftKings Sportsbook, of course, promo code THPN when you sign up. If you haven't done so already, I won the Wild on the puck line, -1.5. I took the over 5.5. We hit that. I took having a goal scored in the first 10 minutes of the game, which was boosted by DraftKings, so I won that. I won the over on 3.5 total goals for the Minnesota Wild, and I won on Kirill Kaprizov being an anytime goal scorer. So it was a good night in the betting market, and if you were following us before the game, I hope you bet along with me on DraftKings Sportsbook, because I probably won you some money, so you're welcome.
There you go. Nick Floor, when you're talking about where the Arizona Coyotes will be next year, he says, I hear the old Cow Palace is ready to go.
I actually have brought up on a couple occasions the possibility of the Coyotes sharing a half season elsewhere while another rink is being built here in Arizona, because it's not unprecedented. It's been done in other markets and in other sports, and so it's not, albeit unprecedented, right? So like, let's just say my scenario from earlier where Veterans Memorial Coliseum isn't ready to go at the start of the season. Well, maybe they can go and play games in another city, in another state, right? And so they're not moving, but they're just playing their games elsewhere for just a tiny bet, wherever that may be. If it's in Vegas, if it's in Houston, if it's in Quebec City, for goodness sake, that possibility is still out there, and there is precedent, right? The New Orleans NBA franchise, I think they were the Hornets at that time. They were the New Orleans Hornets. They played partial games in Oklahoma City after Hurricane Katrina, prior to the Seattle Sonics moving to Oklahoma City and becoming the Thunder. So the Tampa Bay Rays, for example, in the Major League Baseball, they're in talks to basically have a co-host city up in Montreal to bring Major League Baseball back to Montreal for the first time since the Expos left well over a decade ago, because the Tampa Bay Rays aren't drawing a lot of people during the regular season, so that's out there. So there's precedent.
No one cares.
And I'm just throwing it out there.
Bring back the Expos. Dan Villapa, Dan is the man, makes some sound. Yo, Dan is the man. Join us on our last stream. Molstar, wild win, and it was a good win in that. Andrew likes to give us sports updates from around the sports sphere, and we absolutely love it on the watch-alongs here. Andrew telling us that the Heat tied the game, almost ended the game. 112. I'm sure it's changed since you commented last
go Heat,
year.
Because I just realized they're playing the Lakers. So go Heat.
Andrew giving some love to Dan as well. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, just saw you followed me back. Richie, thanks, man. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, you are the man. You follow the Soda Pod. You follow us. Show some love to the Hockey Podcast Network at HockeyPodNet, and we will support you as well. I'm Huckleberry. All right, boyos, I'm going to head out. Bye. I'm Huckleberry. You are such a beauty. Appreciate you joining us throughout this entire stream tonight. You are an absolute gem. Nicholas, I mean the betting lines. Yeah, well, we went through them, so that's good. I threw the link up for the poll question, too. We'll wrap it up here momentarily. Grant chiming into the poll question. So I guess you know what? We'll just run it down right now. Minnesota Wild versus Arizona Coyotes live stream Hockey Podcast Network poll question. If you could choose only one jersey, would it be the Yotes Kachina or the Minnesota North Stars? Grant saying, sorry, it's the Kachina for me. Hey, fair. This was a hard one. You know, a good poll question is a hard question to answer. So there you go. Though the North Star sweater is sick too. Yeah, this one was an ode to it. I wish that they could have just used the goddamn North Stars logo, but apparently Dallas, like the new ownership, owns the rights to it, so they actually can't use it. I don't know, Richie. It's madness. It's silliness. Apparently, State of Hockey is also coined by the the Dallas Stars ownership, or whatever. Anyways. There's an agreement there where both the state and Dallas can use that term apparently, because it's still owned by the Sale or whoever took over the North Stars. And I'm sure Sean Cosgrove will, if he's still here, will correct me on that one as far as the facts there. Mad Mike saying Sonics should never moved. Agreed, because I'm from Vancouver Island, British Columbia. So the Vancouver Grizzlies. I mean, I was very young at the time, and they were there was
big country.
Yeah, I mean, big country was the only bright spot there. And players refused to even be drafted to that team. So it was an absolute shit show, especially with the management and ownership. But all that aside, I mean, the Grizzlies had a place in my heart. Portland is my team just because of the closest team to me. But before I started watching Portland, it was the Sonics I was drawn to. Seattle, the Emerald City, just one ferry ride away from where I'm at here in Vancouver Island. Nicholas Lee, 100%. I was so mad that day. I don't know what day you're talking about. I'm guessing when the Minnesota North Stars moved to Dallas. Grant Chung says, bring back the Expos. Bring back the Expos! Not even a baseball fan, and I want the Expos back because screw the Blue Jays.
This is why I like doing this show, because it's the only place in the expanse of hockey YouTube and hockey Twitter where we get to talk about the Montreal Expos. I like that. So you're welcome, everybody, for bringing up the Expos. Vladimir Guerrero.
You can hear Errol Hawani go on about them too, even on the MMA Hour. Andrew B, love you both. Oh, Andrew, we love you too, buddy. Thank you so much. You make these streams so much fun. Like I said earlier, you're the reason I get up in the morning. He gives us the update too. 119, 114 for the Lakers. Not a fan of the Lakers, Richie?
No, I'm a Suns fan. Come on. No. No. I don't do LA sports except for the Rams.
Okay, there you go. Nick is talking about when the Sonics left. Yes, I mean, I was very sad too. Mad Mike Sports Entertainment, North Stars, despite the fact I had the Ronik Kachina jersey as a kid, the white one too. Oh, beautiful, beautiful jersey. But hey, I like that you're showing the North Stars some love, because I said it was so close for me as well, and I needed something to be the tiebreaker. So whether it's weak or not, whether anybody excuses me of it being weak or not, green's my favorite color. The North Stars is a dominant green, so that we're going with the North Stars. That's what got my vote on that. And I say my vote as the Hockey Podcast Network account's vote, because it is on my Twitter account at VI Sports Talk, pinned to the top. I threw the link in the chat here. We want to get your thoughts on it before we wrap things up this evening too, in this Minnesota Wild Arizona Coyotes post-game show that really is just the all sports chat show, because there's not a lot to talk about in regards to that game. Hey, Richie, I mean, do you have any takeaways overall that you want to highlight, or do you want me to get to these comments here?
It was exactly what I expected. Before the game, my prediction was 4-2, right? And so I expected the Coyotes to remain somewhat competitive in this game. And for the most part, and I would say for a good, 55 minutes of this game, they were competitive. They were hanging around. But for a 5-minute stretch in the second period, that's where things went haywire. And that's where the game got out of hand and the Coyotes lost it. So other than that, I mean, it's what I expected. Coyotes hang around. They play like crap for 5 minutes and they lose because of that. Great performance in net for Minnesota. The highlight of the night for me was that save on the Lawson Krause breakaway.
Yeah,
other than the goal, obviously, from the Minnesota goal. I believe it was their second goal of the game. I don't remember who scored it, but the one that was like a lacrosse style goal. Those
Fiala.
are your two highlights of the game right there. Yeah, Fiala, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I just went over all the contest entries, and you know what's funny? There was a lot of 6-3, 6-2, 6-1. There was a lot of 4-1, 4-2. There was not one single one. And this was the most predictions I think we've had in a while. Out of over, I think, 20 odd predictions, no one predicted 5-2. So the 20 smiles hat lives on another watch along. The next time you see me up on here, whether it's Canucks or Wild for a Hockey Podcast Network watch along, we will be attempting to give away this hat again, courtesy of our friends from Gong Show Gear. I echo pretty much all the takeaways from this game that Richie put forth. We'll run through the last few of the comments here. We'll wrap up the poll question, and then we will sign off and bid you all an adieu, because it's getting late, both in my parts and in Arizona, which, by the way, the fact that you're an hour ahead of Pacific time, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah, just for those of you that don't know, the state of Arizona is the only state in the United States of America that does not abide by daylight savings time. So our clocks never change, which is great because we never have to change our clocks, but also not great because we have games that start at 8 o'clock or 8:30 when, they're playing either on national TV or playing on the West Coast in LA or whatnot. So yeah, it's 11 o'clock here. So I'm assuming that we have some East Coast viewers who are hanging around with us. So thank you. We appreciate you staying up so late especially after the game we just watched, for goodness sake, which I would have gone to bed after the first period, to be honest.
Funny, Andrew B is a Maple Leafs fan, and he's here, so I love it. Grant saying, Richie, how happy are you that the Yotes bailed on the Pacific Division now that McDavid are joined by Eichel? Or McDry, sorry, are joined by Eichel. McDry.
Yeah. This is actually a good question here, because it could be a little bit longer answer, but I'll keep it short. Not happy that the Coyotes left the Pacific Division because of the expansion teams. They should have stayed where they are in their natural rivalries and for travel purposes. But other than that, for the future of the team, I think you're kind of right, because Vegas is always going to be there, right? I feel like Anaheim has a good prospect pool. Edmonton has the two best players in the NHL, and McDavid and Draisaitl. And then you got Vancouver, who's kind of seemingly have some good young players there too. You can say the same thing about Calgary. Like,
Calgary's there's a lot of good damn good though right now. Like, that's what blows my mind.
Yeah, there's some good young talent in the Pacific Division right now. Whereas in the Central, I don't feel like that's the case outside of Colorado. I feel like you have a lot of teams that are aging, whereas the Coyotes are going all in on getting younger and building for the future, whereas a lot of these teams in the Central are not doing, And so, in a way, it could be a good thing 3 years down the road, like we talked about at the beginning of the show. 2024 comes around, Central Division is all in a rebuild mode. The Coyotes are on the upswing. Austin Matthews is playing for the Coyotes. He's got the captain. He's got the C on his sweater. And then the future will be bright.
There you go. And again, I love, for the most part, the passion that comes out of Leafs Nation. I can't root. I'm a West Coast Canadian. I was brought up in British Columbia. I can't root for Toronto with TSN and Sportsnet just shoving Toronto Maple Leafs content down my throat every single day, every waking hour. Every time Marner has a good skate, it's 30 minutes of Sportsnet, SportsCenter. I can't do it anymore. So that's why I'd love to see Austin Matthews in Arizona to save that franchise. Keep the comments rolling. We'll go on a few more minutes if we get some more comments here. Nicholas Lee saying, well, as a Lakers fan, all I have to say is 17 rings, lol. Fair enough.
Who cares? Who cares?
Who cares?
Who freaking cares? Who cares? Nobody cares about how many rings the Lakers have.
If it was like the Leafs and like all their championships came in like the 40s, then that's one thing. But I mean, these Lakers, it was relatively recent history.
Who cares? Championships don't matter unless my team wins them.
Okay, there you go. 3 hours and 14 minutes and a few beers in, and it comes out, ladies and gentlemen. Henry saying Buffalo is playing really well now since opening day. Bills Mafia. Grant says, we haven't won against a Western Conference team yet. I'm talking about the Flames, I imagined. But yeah, look, the Flames, they haven't even started popping off yet. I mean, they're playing good Sutter hockey right now, and let's see, Goudreau and Lindholm are doing really well. But, Tkachuk scored that beauty the other night. But let's be honest, Tkachuk and Monahan are not where they are expected to be. When they start playing their game, holy crap, are the Flames really going to pop off and run this Pacific Division. Grant, by the way, why aren't you doing Flames live streams yet? Let's go. Let's get this going here on the Hockey Podcast.
Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk, come on. Yeah.
Mad Mike, Sports Intent. Richie, a little warning, Wednesdays are mass singer nights for me, so that's what I'll be tweeting about Wednesdays.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay, because my Twitter feed is not Mass Singer, but I tweet about pretty much everything but hockey pretty much 90% of the time, so you'll get more NFL and Rams stuff for me than anything else.
And you're saying, yeah, Isha, I agree with you more than Richie. Andrew knows me better, that's why. Nicholas Lee, Richie, your team went to the final dance and choked the lead. Don't remind him.
God damn it. I know, why do we gotta do this? God, you're gonna make me drink more. Congratulations to Giannis, though. Good for him.
Hey, yeah, hell of a champion and hell of a championship. Grant's saying working evenings, that's the reason. Hey, well, if there's a matinee game one of these weekends, I'm sure that's what you're gonna want to do in the morning, is jump on a Hockey Podcast Network live stream. Am I right or am I right? There you go. I do have to get on that, though. Stay tuned. Hey, support Grant's podcast. Grant, throw the link up here in the chat. All right, Richie. 3 hours and 16 minutes. An exciting game, though a dominant win, I think, overall by the Minnesota Wild. A dominant game. Oh, this is good. Take a shot every time Richie takes a shot. I think I
finished all 3 of my beers I got here, so I think we're done. So I'm glad we're wrapping up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to bike home if I brought out either the Canadian rye whiskey or the last of my Salt Spring Shine honey vodka. I've been saving that. The Soda Pod actually just partnered with Mark Parrish and Northland Vodka, but it's been tricky to get that over into Canada all the way from Minnesota. But so that's why I'm drinking Salt Spring Shine, which is Salt Spring's a little island off the island. That is Vancouver Island. Great distilleries, great craft beer, great hippie community. Love spending my summers at Salt Spring. So every time I'm there, I like to either hit up the brewery and support local. But if the brewery's closed, which it was the last time I went, you hit up the distilleries there. Mad Mike, anyways, I better head out. I'll catch you guys later. Mad Mike, thank you so much for riding shotgun. Hell, for driving the bus throughout this entire stream. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because we will be back. And hit that bell for notifications so you know who is back when we do more watch-alongs. Nicholas saying you are right. We're always right. Right? Andrew saying, I love to drink. I'm a hardcore drinker, but not that much. I mean, that's a lot of... that sentence doesn't make any sense. But I'll take it.
Here's the thing. When your team is this bad and you have 3 hours to kill... Drinking 3 beers is not a bad idea. So just a shout out, by the way, to State 48 Brewery here in Arizona. These are local beers from Arizona. This is mango wheat. Very delicious. If you come through Arizona, I recommend checking out State 48 Brewery, one of my favorite breweries in the state. So.
Hey, I will, being a craft beer fan. Nicholas Lee saying, last question, boys, and I'll leave you alone. And, hey, look. You don't have to leave us alone. It's a pleasure to answer your questions. But who do you guys like tomorrow's games? Who do we like, Richie, as I bring up tomorrow's games?
I know. I got to look up the schedule. I'm more into the... Yeah, they're throwing this on us here. So tomorrow's Thursday Night Football game is the Ravens and the Dolphins, which is what I'm going to be...
Podcast Network. He's doing this on purpose to grind my...
I am, because I don't even know who's playing the NHL tomorrow, so I'm just gonna watch the Thursday Night Football game. Like I'm sure a lot of other people in this stream are. So take the Ravens in that game.
I'll be watching Canucks Avalanche. I hope that since the Avalanche haven't really put it together themselves this year, that the Canucks can get the train back on track and upset the Avalanche. I'm hoping that the Minnesota Wild back-to-back defeat the Vegas Golden Knights. I'll also be watching the Kraken and Ducks game. The Ducks are doing They're doing way too good. Well, I'll have my eye on that one anyways as I'm closely watching the Wild one. But the Ducks are doing way too good this season, as are the Sharks. So I'll be tuning, keeping tabs on the Sharks, Jets, Wild, Ducks. I'll be watching the Wild and Golden Knights and Vancouver Canucks Avalanche simultaneously. But it's a huge NHL card tomorrow. I mean, Flames Montreal. I mean, bet on Montreal if those are the odds there, because that would be unreal. And look, I hate Montreal, but I'm just saying, bet on Montreal if you want to win some money there. And same with Red Wings Capitals. Bet on the Red Wings. I'm telling you, if you want to make some money, those are the two teams right now that I think will cause the biggest upsets. Again, I won't go through every single one, but those are the ones that I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on.
Thank you, Isha, for bailing me out of that question there, because I was not prepared for it. So
There you go. We're a team. We're a team here, and it's been so much fun, Richie, and an absolute pleasure for you joining me on semi-short notice today as I shone out the bat signal. Grant saying stick to hockey, Richie. Yeah, Nicholas Lee, I was asking about hockey.
this is why you had me on. At least I'm entertaining, okay? I'm glad I gave you guys a laugh.
I love it. You think Vegas, Nicholas, wins tomorrow? I don't know. They're still depleted. Though the Wild haven't been that great back-to-back, I will give you that. I don't think they burn too much of their energy tonight, and I think that it's not an incredibly long travel day to get to Vegas from Arizona. Hell, they could bus even if they needed to. So I think that they'll be okay for that game tomorrow in Las Vegas. Grant saying, no, come on, Yeesh. Oh, talking about, well, look, the Flames and Canadiens game. Look, Grant, I'll tell you right now, I'm not rooting for the Canadiens. I can barely stand, like, Canadiens are almost in Toronto level for me. The two teams that, I guess the three teams, Boston, Montreal, and Toronto, I have no love for. But if you put up Toronto and Montreal, up against each other, I'm probably going to root for Montreal because the Toronto hate just a little bit more. But it's up there. I'm saying from a betting perspective, that's the game that you want to bet on is Montreal and the Flames. That's the one. I'm telling you. Andrew saying I watch all sports. Andrew, your beauty. I watch all sports myself. You're still good, man, Richie. Richie's a great man. Grant saying as long as Chandelbar Mustache Stevenson's getting me points, I don't care who wins. Fair enough. A fantasy player I see right there. Nicholas Lee says it's a 3-hour drive. That's a long drive. I was just in AZ. I mean, it's a long drive, but it's not a long drive. Okay, come on.
It's pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah, a long drive is like, I say a long drive is like 6+ hours. I used to commute like 4 hours for a radio gig at one point. It's just what it was. It's what it was here on the island. There's not a lot of gigs. Andrew saying 100% to all that stuff, and 100% of my energy has been used on this stream, Richie. I'm starting to wean down a bit. I think I need a beer. I think I need to actually on my way home grab one here because it has been a incredible night. I have to celebrate this Minnesota Wild win. I have to get some rest. I don't think I'll be on a Minnesota Wild stream tomorrow back-to-back, but I'll be watching the boys back-to-back take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Quickly, before we hang up the skates, we'll just quickly touch on the poll question. We'll see where we're at. We didn't get a ton of votes tonight. If you could only choose one jersey, what would it be? Yotes Kachina or Minnesota North Stars? The Minnesota North Stars take it 60% to 40 again. Not a lot of votes, so check back in if you're interested tomorrow, as it usually picks up overnight. If it doesn't pick up in this live stream. Little Perk Thirst says Vegas is ass. Yes, they are ass right now. They're ass right now because they traded some of their healthy pieces for a Jack Eichel that can't even play, and their big pieces right now are injured. So, yes, they are ass. They're at the bottom of the Pacific Division. One of the bottom teams of the Pacific Division.
Have they scored a power play goal yet?
I could not answer that for you. I don't know. Little Perk might know. Vegas and Seattle should be removed from the NHL. Yes! Look, I like Seattle for the fact that Vancouver has a rival. Like, I like them in that fact. The team already pisses me off. I'm already annoyed. I look at their logo, and yes, it's nice, but it just makes me angry. Vegas, I'm a Capitals fan, so I'm like, whatever. We beat you in the Stanley Cup finals. They got the cup. Whatever. But yes, I'm not a fan of the success that Vegas is having right now. Nicholas saying why? Oh, probably asking why.
I think that's saying yes. I'm saying that's yes to my power play goal, I'm assuming, because I think they have.
Oh, okay.
this
Well, then
point.
there you go. There you go. Grant, 27 million on LTIR, 27 million. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's an investment that they're willing to take. All right, so the North Stars take this one in this small poll question. Again, not a lot of activity, but we thank you to those who did throughout this chat. And we thank you to all in this post-game show. There's a few of you left who've basically your comments are the reason why we're still here. You know, we said like 10 minutes ago or something, Richie, that we were about to sign off, but the comments kept coming, so we absolutely love it.
I anger too many people. When I anger people comment.
No,
That's
it's
what
not
happens.
even that. Everyone, I think Andrew said he loved you, so just barely that. Richie, before we sign off here, before we hang up the skates, and again, thank you again just so much, on a personal note, for jumping on with me. This has been a lot of fun. Maybe one of these days we get Corey on. I do one with Corey, and you can you can fire up the comment section.
Yeah, I miss not having my co-host. Corey's my best friend in the whole world. And her and our show is, we love doing it together, and I missed her tonight. I appreciate her being in the comments. But if you want to listen to our show and you want to listen to us talk about the Arizona Coyotes and a bunch of other random crap as we do on our show because our team is so bad, you can follow us on Twitter right there. It's at Corey_Richie Show. And you see my at OurFlores91 at Corey Nicole with 2 E's for our personal handles. And we love talking to you guys, whether it be Taylor Swift, Swifties, whether it be the Arrowverse on the CW. Music, we do. We just went to the Angels and Airwaves show last week, and it was incredible. It was a great show. So, yeah, go follow us. We really do appreciate it. Thanks you to everybody for hanging out with us here tonight. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Isha. It was great. Made a lot of new friends tonight, apparently, even though I was making fun of the Leafs plenty. So we appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thanks, Richie. Again, Nicholas Lee saying, good night, guys. You two made a new fan. Oh, appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Join us again as we do more things down the road. CMA is on last night. All right. I don't know what that stands for off the top of my head. It's been
the CMAs are tonight. That's right. Yes.
Oh, the Canadian Music Awards.
The Country Music Awards. The Country Music Awards.
Canadian Music Awards. What are the Canadian ones called? Junos? Is that right, Andrew? The Junos are the Canadian ones? The Country Music Awards. Okay, well, it just shows I'm out of it. I ain't from the US of A.
You need to go to bed, Isha. That's what we're learning here.
Buddy, I'm still at work. I haven't even got off work yet. This is my work. And that's a good segue into what I do. Find us at the hockeypodcastnetwork.com. We have a podcast for every team in the National Hockey League, plus custom content, plus niche content. I mean, we have Terry Ryan on staff. I mean, the greatest storyteller in all of hockey. So if you want to hear his podcast, Tales with TR, we have that, as well as exclusive fight podcast, lifestyle podcast, and again, an Arizona Coyotes I almost said Phoenix Coyotes. That's why I stopped there. Arizona Coyotes podcast in Sporty with Corey and Richie. If you want to hear more about the Minnesota Wild, check the podcast out that I also host. Yes, co-created the Hockey Podcast Network, but love talking sports and the Minnesota Wild. So go check my podcast out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, at the Soda Pod, and you can find on any podcast app the Soda Pod. We have podcast that comes out every single weekday. Mondays is usually Wild Talk. Tuesdays is Prospect Talk. Wednesdays we have a special guest drop. Thursdays craft beer, and Friday all 6 D1 Minnesota college hockey teams. So yes, a lot of content on the Soda Pod and a lot of content on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Again, every day we pretty much have watch-alongs and new videos coming. So subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to those tuning in. Molstar saying good night and let's go Wild. What a way to sign off here again. I'm Isha Dromi alongside Richie Suave Flores. Thank you so much again. 5-2 victory for the Minnesota Wild against the Arizona Coyotes. The 20 miles hat lives on another day, as do we. Catch you all on the rebound. Thank you, and we will see you next time.